All right, so let's go ahead and get this party started. So we will go ahead and full screen that. We'll swap over here. I'll put a marker right there. And yeah, man. So this is the Lore Hero Podcast. We've got 760, Asai, Jason, and Moose. Or Guitar Hero Rocks Wise Moose. Up there. So we'll just go through, listen, and we'll talk along with it. So here we go.
Okay, so we're gathered here today to start this podcast, which
Ladies
we don't
and
even
gentlemen.
we don't even know the name of this podcast.
What is this called?
What is this even called?
Oh, my service
we
school.
asked ChatGPT for some really good
we're
really
gonna
good
go
into those right away?
ideas.
There was one
I mean,
winner
like,
in that group. That was one really
there
good
was
one.
no winner in here. I mean, like, we can ask the audience to talk about it, but I'm not really sold on Guitar Hero Groovecast.
That's the one. That's the best one that they had. Guitar Hero Groovecast. We don't have to have the Guitar Hero. It could just
I
be
fuck
the
with Guitar Hero
Groovecast.
The
Groovecast.
Groovecast.
That's good
But,
shit.
like, but then, like, if you double click on the podcast, you're expecting a bunch of dudes to talk about, like, fucking Motown and like Michael
Fucking
Jackson.
Motown. Interesting.
Groovy
It'd be grooving though.
music.
It's
There
all
we
about
go.
It would be about Groove Coaster.
Groove Coaster.
Yeah, so I played this game at the arcade once, like 5 years ago.
I
It
should
was a
be.
really formative moment in my life. I had to make
Dude,
this podcast.
they had Megalovania, like
I'm gonna
and
speak on the whole game.
Megalovania.
I'm gonna speak on the whole games community like right now. Like,
Mm.
Yeah, I know.
No,
Fucking
I know
Groove
the game.
Coaster.
Don't
I'll
get
take
me
it.
Wrong. I played it once 5 years ago. I'm an authoritative figure in the community of all 2 people that play the game nowadays. Sorry.
Groove
I don't mean
Coaster's
to
fun.
throw shade at any community.
Oh, they're gonna get really mad at that.
They weren't watching it. They won't even watch it. They don't even know we exist.
no, we're nobodies. so
Exactly.
It's all right.
Right now.
Pretty
Are
much.
we?
Think about it. So, like, the Microsoft Activision acquisition.
Yes.
I mean, it finally went through like yesterday. Huge, big stuff.
It's still
And,
kinda
like,
wild to
even
think about that
we were just
actually went
talking about
through.
it, right? As soon as the news broke that they were gonna buy Activision, they were already talking about Guitar Hero. Like,
That's
Phil
true.
Spencer,
Immediately.
Bobby
Day one.
Kotick, they immediately were just like, yeah, you know what? We'll explore the avenues of like bringing a Guitar Hero game back.
Yeah, it's like
And so,
that.
like,
Tony Hawk, Crash
a Guitar Hero
Bandicoot.
game in 2023, the modern like video game landscape. We know how Live Surface works, how Live Surface doesn't work. Like,
We have first-hand experience on how it doesn't work with Guitar Hero Live. They've tried this before.
exactly.
Log in for 5 bonus plays.
Oh boy!
I would love
get the
to
privilege
log in
play
for 5
songs in
bonus
the game
plays.
I paid for. Awesome.
Actually get-
that sounds great.
Seriously. Yeah.
Paying for replays. But
Yeah.
the thing is,
It's almost
this is in
like people who care about the
2015,
community
where
the
all
most
this
and its
was
growth.
just already scummy practice, for the iPhone,
I want to think about it in a
games.
real
And
sense,
it
man.
was an iPhone game.
So I was
Yeah,
saying.
it was.
It was an iPhone
Also, it's
game.
kind of crazy is the
iPhone game.
760
They
setup.
ported the console.
Because
Yeah,
he's like
no, straight up.
the name
But,
for
like,
custom guitars in the
so-
U.S.
How-
and the
you know,
Katana
like,
mods
with
over in the
games
UK.
that have
But seeing that
subscriptions
big ass
nowadays,
desk with
I'm thinking
all
like
the tools and
Rocksmith
stuff,
Plus.
it's wild.
If this game ever comes, if this
I like
game
workshops.
comes to life, if they start saying
want a
shit
workshop.
about a new Guitar Hero game,
Mhm.
I think the most important way to approach how to think about it, it's gonna be like a subscription based. You got
Game
500
Pass.
songs out the gate, probably
500?
You're
Ugh.
probably gonna add stuff like
That's,
every other week. Do you think they would like
500,
outsource
ugh,
charting
that's wishful
tools like they
thinking.
do for Rocksmith Plus?
Yeah,
Absolutely
I was gonna
not.
Say something like that because I believe Rocksmith Plus
Need me a
is,
Katana
like,
mod
community
guitar?
driven with their tabs, right? Like they
I need their
grab
custom
tabs from
6 fret
community
PCB
members
board.
to put into the game, and there's thousands of songs in that game, right?
Which is great.
Yeah,
By the way.
that's a cool model. I really like that. I think Guitar
Rocksmith
Hero
Plus is
would,
is
do
a
really
is
well
an
with
interesting
copy
model. I
that
don't
sort of
think it would
model, 'cause we have
translate well
so
to
many talented
Guitar Hero.
charters that make
We-
songs
like,
just for
yeah.
free.
Excuse
Well,
me.
and for-
Yeah,
and
we
for,
like, you know,
'cause if
there's
they
always,
did-
like, there's always active projects going on in the scene from like a ton of talented people, and
In terms
that
of
was,
charting,
like,
if they did something
my
like that, it would
first
be
thought with the news is like how
it would
does
not
the
be what
community
most
get
people want to
involved
chart.
in,
I would almost guarantee that.
a game like a new Guitar Hero game, because I know like the biggest like community point I can think of towards the end of the series life originally was like Warriors of Rock, like oh, let's put in songs in the game that the community's wanted for a really
how-
long time.
and how well
Holy
did that
Wars,
do?
Black Widow, Laporte.
It's a cool model.
More
Getting community
Slayer,
members to chart stuff for exposure. Yeah,
you know,
and it's great for Clone
and,
Hero.
like, how do they
but
How do they
for
like involve the
a
community with the new
multi-billion-dollar
release? Because
business,
if a new game
I
just
doubt
comes out
they would
and
let that
that's it,
slide. Maybe they
without
would. A cool
any
way to
community
go about that
involvement or
would
hype
maybe
behind it,
instead of allowing
will it
people to
do
just
better or will it
chart
do worse?
shit.
I don't really know.
Well,
You know,
it's
kinda
tough
like
to
they
say
do
because
with
what is
Rocksmith
the
Plus.
community?
And
We
here's a
have
good point.
fragmented community.
Community.
Are we even a community? Us four? We
Yeah.
all do very different things.
Well,
with the
that
game.
is the definition
You know,
of a community.
I play
They,
console, I play the old stuff.
but maybe
I
have an
for
avenue
Score.
for people to
Nobody else really does that. I'm a very niche,
submit their own
subset
songs.
of the community per se. So
Like if
it's tough
community members
yeah,
have
we're
their
all
own
in our
band.
niches, I suppose.
Um,
But
kind
it'd
of
be
like
tough
a
to
weird
please
Rock
everybody,
Band
especially,
Network
like Clone
model.
Hero kids that only play like super fast.
Yeah,
happy
there it
stuff.
is. Exactly. Yeah.
Sorry
Rock
to
Band Network.
disappoint, but they're not going to cater to that because
They're
Correct.
not going to be interested.
They're not gonna cater to-
1% of people who play the game that can
Yeah.
even do that or even think
Yeah.
about that.
Solus
It would be alienating to
Megalodon.
a lot of people.
Yeah,
That kind of
and there would
stuff.
still be like
Yeah.
tracks that would probably
That'd be hard
satisfy
stuff, yeah.
a handful of that niche or whatever. But
Absolutely.
at the end of the,
Oh,
at
yeah.
the end of the day, like the standard set for watching the game is just so fucked.
Yeah.
It's so fucked, and like, but in both a good way and like a really know how to feel about this way. But
When it
you
comes to
know,
like tournaments and
I
stuff, people
wouldn't-
do
I
their
wouldn't, like-
damnedest, but it's
like,
kind of
dive
hard
deep
to
into
like, oh,
that.
they're
One
hitting
thing's for sure
notes.
is that people just
You
want to
know?
play Guitar Hero 3 again.
There's no visual
Yeah,
representation
like Guitar Hero
of
3,
Like,
like,
Bring
conflict.
us to PS4.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope they remaster this. I see those comments daily.
And people have been saying
I do
this
have a
every
bigger
single,
thought
like,
on
for years
remastering
and
Guitar
years,
Hero
being
3.
Like, they need to remaster Guitar Hero 3, and it's like
Yeah.
I get it, you know. Like my first Guitar Hero game was Guitar Hero 3, you know. But it's like, I mean, you know, how well would it do even if they did remaster it? Would they? Would
I
they
got an
want to?
idea.
You got
Here.
an idea?
Hmm.
Hold on. It's already been listed on Activision's website, Guitar Hero under Game Pass, right? We're talking
Right.
about Rocksmith Plus from before as well.
Mhm.
That's true.
What if, hear me out, what if they made a Guitar Hero platform, just called it Guitar Hero,
Okay.
Move.
made it a game that you got included with Game Pass, like other
Right.
rhythm games have been on Game Pass, right?
Fuck
They
with
can
that.
still sell it. But it would be, hey, you can get this if you get your Game Pass subscription. Just go
Right.
buy a new guitar in store.
Hmm.
That way, there's still new guitars.
They would still need a
available, there'd
physical
be
release.
subscription.
Yeah, absolutely.
They could add DLC down
Yeah.
the line, and that way they could get all the old hits that everybody loved, whether it's Guitar Hero 3, whether it's World Tour, whichever.
Just relicense.
Yeah, do the Call of
Yeah.
Duty model.
Okay.
Basically, I don't know how much
Yeah,
I
I
think
think Call of Duty, but Modern Warfare
There's
3
an idea there,
that's
and it
coming
kind
out
of
soon
it lines up
is
with
just pure nostalgia bait.
it
They
lines
have
up with
all
what
the
I
old
was thinking.
original
It's a little
Modern
bit
Warfare 2,
different, but
2009 maps
yeah,
in
if-
there.
if-
They're bringing a whole bunch of old guns.
There's no way they would
the
sell
model
guitars
right
on
now
their own.
Is to play on 25
They would sell guitars bundled with a physical version of the game, so they
And
can
if they do
mark
that for
up the
Guitar
price
Hero,
and
I'm
have a
down, I
bigger
don't care.
chance of
Sure, I'll buy
Yeah,
it.
I
I'll
mean,
play it. I love it.
bigger
Actually,
bigger profit
Perfect.
return.
Got $150
They just
for a
realizes the old
bundle
songs.
right
Well,
now,
I mean,
dude.
Yeah.
Put that in
I'll do
front
a
of
lot
me.
more.
Yeah.
I'll do a lot more. Don't
There
do
might
that,
be
but I'll
something
do a
on the
lot more.
back end
Card.
where
If they're
that
like-
might
if they're
actually
like,
be
"Hey, bro,
easier with
we got-
past
we got this
connections.
for Xbox One, and
So-
you know, if you buy this for
There's a possibility, but-
$179.99, we'll give you Guitar Hero 3 songs in it in our brand new.
See, they're onto something
in our
that I kind of
brand
agree
new
with.
Guitar Hero.
But my
It's
thought
just
is
so
remaster Guitar Hero
rebooted
3, just
and
call it
they're
Guitar Hero Legends of Rock,
There'll be like a
and then
Founders
update it
Founders Edition.
next
where
with,
like, if you
uh,
pre-order, you
with
get,
Guitar
you get
Hero
20
2
exclusive
charts,
songs,
right?
You know?
They do it again with Guitar Hero 1.
Now, if
So
you
you have
wanna
1, 2, and
This
3.
game,
You could reframe
And then
this
that's
in a
its own
negative way
thing.
and say it's basically going to be Guitar Hero Smash
And
hits
then
that
create
you learn.
the platform that they're talking about.
all the Smash hits that you love from Guitar Hero 1, 2,
See,
3, 4, 5,
if
6.
Smash Hits came out now and
But
it didn't come out
stay
before,
away
it'll
from
probably
anything
do
past
really
3.
well, you know?
Absolutely.
Wrong.
If Guitar Hero Smash
Like,
hits came
why-
out 10 years after,
Maybe
Why
cherry
was it
pick some
made?
songs here and
You
there.
know?
I ranked.
Why?
I
it was
ranked
ahead of its
Smash
time,
Hits-
really.
Yeah, I ranked Smash Hits as F. That's like a bottom
Yeah.
tier game for me.
It's epic, and I like playing it.
To be
That'd
fair,
be the
Smash
best
Hits
game
is pretty
ever.
low on the
That'd be
rung.
I never thought of that way
ever if
before.
it came out right the fuck now.
I think
Wow.
it's the
Interesting.
that's the game that I have
Because
the
it just
least
makes
amount of
sense,
gamer
and, like, you know,
score.
on the platform topic, like Harmonix has stated that like
I did
Rock
not
Band
play it
4,
a
like
lot.
this is it. Rock Band 4 is a platform.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like they've
They
stated
said
that
like
that's their
2015.
that's their goal with it, and you know, I mean that's what they've done. Like, and in the past, like Rock Band 2, Rock Band 3, like even Rock Band 1, like they were platforms for a little bit, but Rock Band 4 has outlived them
Oh, I missed it.
significantly.
Are you talking
know?
about the Game
Yeah,
Pass
you
thing?
can go and strong.
No, it's the
Quite a
most
bit,
realistic
too,
point
with,
yet.
Yeah.
Like, what, 10 more seasons? I think. They
Yeah,
just
I think they're planning
Yeah.
up to 40.
But that also falls in
And I think
line
they're
with
gonna
if they
have
go
4
with
now.
the
I
Rocksmith
forget.
Plus kind of
Gosh,
idea,
you know, like
where it's just a
it's,
set
you
amount
know,
of
it's kind of amazing,
songs
but
that
at
stream.
the same time, like
So in
and
that
Jason,
case,
like, you had
he's got a
mentioned
good
this
idea.
before we,
But in
started,
in terms of the
you know, like
The
like,
long
talk
term?
about like what happened at Epic.
I don't
Sure, I'm a
think
little worried about Harmonix, if I'm going to be honest. If there is a new Guitar Hero, I
Oh, here we
think
go.
everyone's going to think, oh, is there going to be a new Rock Band? But I'm a little worried about Harmonix. We haven't heard too much about what they're doing. The last news
They're
that was
assisting on
public was
Fortnite.
they were making some sort of musical adventures or journeys through Fortnite for Epic now, since they were bought.
Yeah.
I don't
But-
play Fortnite, but I haven't seen anything about that.
I would
Does
assume that
exist yet? Has
Harmonix is
even done
working
anything that's made it to the game?
exclusively
I
on
know.
have no clue.
motion
I have no
capture
clue.
and
Yeah.
dances and shit like
I know
that.
a few
No.
years ago they did all those concerts
For,
those
for
in-game
Fortnite.
events, but
Yeah,
that was,
that was-
during-
And those were
prior,
really well
I think.
received.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing that I'm worried about is prior to us recording this today,
Mhm.
about 2 weeks ago, one of the other Epic Games studios, which is Mediatonic, the guys that do Fall Guys, their pretty much entire dev team was let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a
Which-
shame.
And that, that makes
Is
you wonder, as
wild
you know, that
because they
sucks,
existed
right?
before
That
Epic bought
happened
them.
to
I
Mediatonic.
played it at PAX in
That
2020.
nobody from
you know?
Harmonix was
Like,
affected?
right-
That's
like,
kinda
right before
nuts.
COVID at a PAX East, like me, Alec, and his
Unless
wife and a
there
bunch
was-
of our
it was
friends, like,
multiple studios that I just
we
didn't
stayed on the
see.
Fall Guys line for like an hour to play Fall Guys. You know,
Yeah,
It was exciting.
It was great.
I bet it was worth it too, because
Yeah.
that game slaps.
It
That
was.
so
Mm-hmm.
fun.
Yeah.
I had a big Fall Guys like month where I played it very frequently with my
Yeah.
friends. It
I
was
think
it was
I
a
feel
great
like
party
everybody
game.
did.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
legitimately still
I
fun.
played Fall
It's
Guys
still
for
a great
like
game. They
a
just
couple
That's
games, and I was like,
totally
okay, that's cool.
My dad loves Fall Guys.
I mean,
love
I'd be
that.
down.
Editor and all that. It's
Fall
really
Guys?
fun.
Yeah.
What was that?
But,
When it was
so,
super
like,
hot? Yeah.
Obviously, with like Mediatonic
course.
and stuff, like Fall Guys had a it was kind of a cultural phenomenon because
Yeah.
it
It
came
was.
out at kind
I mean,
of
if
like
you're
the
at a
height of
PAX
COVID,
and
everything
Fall
was, like,
Guys is
shut
the
down.
hottest thing that
Everybody wanted
everybody's
to,
talking about.
Everybody got their Stim
And I think
checks
it was
they got gaming
before-
PCs, and so let's get a game. That
Before
is, everyone's
it
like,
released?
let's play a game that's just wacky
Something like that,
and crazy, like Mario
Battle
Kart.
Played
Royale.
one, played one game of Fall Guys, got
Yeah.
second, and
Taking
uninstalled
advantage of a huge
it. Yeah.
trend at the time.
Yeah, it was just the right place.
Like when
right
it came
time.
out, I played it
Perfect
for like
game for
half
that
a
time.
second.
Yeah, and so
Or it might have been when it went free to
off of
play.
that, like Fall Guys blew
But
up,
Sonny, how you
household
doing?
Name. Everybody knows what Fall Guys is.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound familiar to you? Does it sound familiar to you?
I've
Yeah.
seen this one
Albeit-
before. I've seen
Yeah,
it.
I've seen this one before. Seen it.
History repeats itself, baby.
Played about 3 games, so
But it was
yeah.
also in a much
They're good?
shorter
Hell yeah.
time
Glad to
span
hear it.
because, like, I think a year after
Criminally
Fall Guys,
short.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
After
a year,
of
Fall Guys was
came
just-
out, like nobody played it.
Yeah.
I mean, like you stopped hearing about it,
And
as
then they
much
went
as you
free to
did
play and it bumped a little bit,
because,
and
you know,
then
they weren't coming out with
nobody played
features
anymore.
quick enough, things like that.
Yep.
And it just kind of like reminded me, like, damn, these live service games really need to just
Yeah.
about content,
Mm-hmm.
Pump it out.
but yeah, and so like a part of me was thinking, a part of me, like in parallel to Guitar Hero and Rock Band, from like what happened to Fall Guys and like how they couldn't keep up with the content. What if like 2009? What if they were right? Like pumping out all those games in 2009.
That's a hot take.
Like,
Mm.
yeah,
Never heard
that's
that
a
before. It's
really
like,
hot thing.
I
Oh,
love
nobody
it.
plays anymore?
A new
Oh,
game
it's-
every month. I loved it.
That's
Back then,
true.
it was
great for
Yeah.
us.
In hindsight-
Yeah, a
in
new
hindsight-
Guitar Hero every month
in
was
hindsight,
great
it's
for
like,
people like
oh,
me.
Man, they just killed themselves with that move.
You're like, yeah,
Like,
give me
you know,
more.
these games are coming out.
They
And
said
I'm
about
talking about it
Pokemon
in
Go.
school, and people are looking at me. They're just
Right.
like, "You still play that
But,
game?"
I mean, that
Nobody
argument-
talks about that anymore. Like I got bullied
You
for
got
playing Guitar Hero.
nobody
You know
does
what
talk
I mean?
about it
Like,
anymore. I haven't heard anybody talk about Pokemon Go
Everybody like stopped playing it Like,
Until
I don't know
you just
people,
mentioned it.
At least Guitar
in
Hero 3,
years.
and then World Tour, and then nothing else after that. No one talks
Exactly.
about it.
My
And,
friends
like,
and I
yes,
don't play
that's
anymore,
fine.
and that's the point.
That's
And
cool.
like,
I was just only
that's
presenting
the
an idea.
point.
I'm not.
It doesn't matter if people are still playing it. If you're not hearing about it, it's
Don't
dead.
take that the
No.
wrong way.
but it's like,
I know it probably
Well,
sounded
so
like
it's
I was like,
getting to a
dude,
full lobby.
maybe
Maybe they were onto something.
Maybe they're onto something.
Thing though,
Hmm.
guys, like Guitar Hero 3
Also,
was an
it's very
anomaly,
important to
right?
remember
Let's-
here.
let's
Jason
really go
has
there.
game
It
dev
was, dude.
experience.
It's one of those
Honestly, it
things
was
where-
set up to fail with
Working-
the circumstances it had.
What was it? Ubisoft with
Absolutely, and
Rocksmith
it
back in
overcame everything because at the time
20.
it was the first
14,
video game
15,
to ever
16,
break
somewhere around there.
$1 billion in
So
sales.
Yep.
yes.
Like
that's
which
one
is-
perspective I really like having
Well,
here.
granted, they had a
Is
bit
that
of
Jason
a
can come at
built-in
this
advantage
from a
being able
business
to
point of
sell the
view,
guitars with
like
it.
on the
So
back
every game,
end?
instead of being $60 was like 100 and some bucks or whatever. But
Very
still,
So he has a,
the most successful
perspective
video
that's very
game ever
fresh.
in terms of sales at the time, and that's
Absolutely.
that's a massive deal
Yeah.
to somebody like Activision.
Crazy.
$1 billion.
So how do they follow that
It's got like
by
think about that.
Putting out the full band
Fucking Guitar Hero 3
right?
was the
And
first
Rock Band's already
game
beat them to the punch.
ever
Right, and it
to
did
reach $1
decent,
billion in
but
sales.
It couldn't really ever live
At
up
that
to
time.
what Guitar
It's
Hero
insane.
3 did. There's no. How do you outsell the
Mm-hmm.
first video game to ever break $1 billion in sales when
That's
it's
right.
never been done before? At that
I
point?
mean, I think that especially with World Tour, one of the most disappointing
Big
things
agree.
for me is like where's this game's equivalent of Flames or Jordan?
Uh-huh.
You know, like that was like a big
If there's
blow
no
because-
Flames, no
Yeah,
Jordan,
Satch
or
Boogie,
anything
but-
that's
Yeah,
equivalent
it's
to
not
it,
the
you
same.
were
But
doing it wrong.
But Satch Boogie is only
Yeah.
hard because of the engine.
Yeah.
Here's my take that I think a lot of
I
people will agree with.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
I think one of the biggest flaws in World Tour, if I'm being serious, is exactly what JP just said.
Yep.
Pull Me Under as the finale song.
That's
was
what we
the
talked about.
biggest letdown.
Yep.
So disappointing.
I mean,
as
it's a
a-
good
as a
song.
huge
Dream
But
Theater
it's
fan.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but last song in the game to be the TTFAF equivalent in that game, nah,
Exactly.
nah,
Bizarre.
it didn't hit.
Like, think about that,
got
World
to
Tour.
play- There's this
Satch
there's
Boogie
this event in 2008 before World Tour came
was
out.
that
but it
game's
was sponsored
won
by Target. It was this
by
event called
Metallica from
E-For
Guitar
All.
Hero
It was
3.
in LA.
And then World Tour's equivalent to Through the Fire and
2008. I'm
Flames
sure you remember,
was
like hearing about that, Jason. You weren't there, but
Pull Me Under.
I wish that all the homies were there at the
Oh,
time.
this is the
But
World Tour
I got to
event?
play World Tour early. Like they had the kiosk set up. They had the kiosk guitars, kiosk drums, and then they had
Oh,
the
yeah.
4 or 5 song demo,
Mm-hmm.
which had like Everlong, like What I've Done,
Yep.
Love Me 2 Times, Love Removal Machine, and Santeria. So like,
I love how you
those
remember
were,
all
like,
that
the-
still.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 'cause
Interesting.
I played it so fucking much because I was like, I get to play the Guitar Hero game early.
That was the thing,
It
man.
was so sick.
I still remember going up
And,
to my
like, I
local
got to fuck
GameStop.
with, like,
What?
the mechanics, the slider bar.
And,
I got to
whenever
play the
they
new
said,
guitar.
"Oh, we'll have a
I got to
Guitar Hero
experience
demo,"
what
this, I was
5
like,
lane drums
"Fuck
were like
you."
before the game came out,
Oh,
and this was
wow.
like an event.
That's where
open
I
to the
played
public.
Guitar Hero
This was
2
like
for the first time,
E3,
Guitar Hero
but to
3,
the
and
public
World Tour.
because
Like all
it
of
was,
them,
E3 was
they had a
still
demo
shut
with a
down to the
guitar
public
at my local
this time.
GameStop. It was ridiculous.
But
Spent
like I
so
said,
many hours there.
it was open to the they had full game at some point because they had like a whole tournament going on.
tournament.
Like, hey, if you had this top score, then you would make it to like the top.
I feel like I
15 bands or
remember
top
hearing
10
about
bands
this
that get to play on the stage and they get full game and full reign
From the wrestling
what
forum I
song
was
to
on way
choose.
back when.
And so rumors were going around already, both online and at this event, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, dude, Fury of the Storm, Dragon Force." About the event, like,
Yeah.
like people
Wow.
were speculating, and so I made it onto that stage, and we got to get the full set list, and I was so fucking
So-
hyped.
so you
were all the
scrolled,
people.
right?
And so we
Scroll
scrolled, and
through
we're
that
like,
motherfucker.
"Where's Dragon Force?
Where's Dragon Force? Where's
It's not
Dragon
here.
Force?
Where
We're
is
like,
it?
and we're like, there's Dream Theater, but where's Dragon Force?
Mm-hmm.
And
That's a
I don't know
bummer.
if there's I don't know if there's Dream Theater because that required like beating the game 100%. Like
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't even get that with the unlock all songs.
That's
shit.
true.
If I
That's when
remember.
they started doing
Right.
that back then.
Got
Yeah.
the Pandora's box
Feeling of
treatment.
being
That was the first time they did
under
that.
right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Like I think we like scrolled through and like what is the hardest song?
Or
on
not
here?
first
And,
time,
like,
but they did that
you know,
on World
people
Tour and
already
they
played
didn't do it
Sweet
again
Home
until Wars of
Alabama.
Rock.
People already played Beat It. People already played the Metallica track, I believe.
Trapped Under Ice.
Yeah, Trapped Under
Yeah.
Ice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so we settled on Hotel California, and then I was just like, man, where the fuck is the hardest song in the game? Where the fuck
That's
is
funny.
it? And like, yeah, it ended up being Satch Boogie, but the game sucks to play Satch Boogie on.
Yeah.
And
Sliders.
yeah, the
Yep.
sliders.
Look at our cool new
Hey,
mechanic.
hey,
You can't
hey,
even hit the
hey,
notes.
hey! That's not a
You can't
that's not a
even
that's not
learn
a that's not a
how to
peripheral
It doesn't
issue.
even work.
It really,
That's a skill
it really
issue.
didn't work, and I want
You gotta learn how to use those sliders.
And I'm curious
Even
about
though
your
the sliders
guys'
don't
experience
fucking
on
work
this too.
half the
Like,
time.
I went on launch night for World Tour. I got the band in the box, right?
too, me too.
And
Yep, same.
I brought it home, and Moose knows this because
Man,
we
I
were
got some
talking
stories
it,
about
like a week
World
ago.
Tour, man.
And
I think
brought
I
it
went
home,
through
and
about
so it came
30
out,
drum
like,
kits.
The day before, or the day after my birthday. My birthday's on the 27th
Probably closer to
this month,
20,
right?
but-
And so it had come out, and I brought it home. It was
Woo!
midnight. My mom was not
The
happy.
sliders
She
are
did not
ass.
want to bring me to GameStop that night.
Love
because
the
it was pouring
idea.
rain out. And the next day after school, I think a Friday.
I like
come
how
home,
the
my mom's got my little
lanes lit up
friends
whenever
over
you
there,
slid.
I was probably in like middle school still or something. And
I had this
and, we
experience
take
too.
out the drums and the guitars. One of the guitars overstrums.
Yep.
One of
It's
the,
like,
the
that's
yellow
where he's
symbol
going.
on the drums doesn't work at all.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
like that was my experience getting World Tour, and it was honestly
Yeah, whenever it first
such
came
a
out, I had to
letdown,
swap
you know?
out
Like, it
the
really
full bundle
was.
kit.
And, like,
I
was
think
still
2
on Wii at this
times.
point. I started on Wii, and which is
And
apparently
then later
very
I went
common
through
for a
at
lot of
least
really
20
good
drum
players.
kits because something would happen.
But I started on Wii.
And I eventually
360
tried to
DLC
learn how
eventually,
to like
a
fix
little
it, like with the hot
but,
glue and all
like,
that. It just
that was
it
my
never
experience
worked.
at World Tour, and so not even the
Because I
game
remember being
itself
on like
disappointed
full,
me, but,
like going on
the
Score Hero forums and be like
experience,
how do I fucking
the
fix this? This is
experience of the game.
And I'm
ridiculous.
sure that was enough to like, if that happened to you, there's
they
probably
should have
like
made the same thing Robbie did with Solid Ones.
100,000
Yes.
happened to
Yeah.
you also.
A lot
They
of
happened to me
probably
too.
swore off a Guitar
Yeah.
Hero.
At one
that
point-
point,
Much better
like,
play.
I'm not
Yeah,
spending
I.
250.
That's one of the things I brought
I'll buy
up.
Rock Band.
Was like I would like the
Or,
solo
like,
buttons.
I won't play this anymore.
World Tour Guitars
I
full
can invest
issues,
money
most
into
regarded
this
slide
because
bar.
it's
Yes,
breaking.
they
Well,
were.
yes.
Here's a pro tip. 11-year-old me figured out that if you send in a warranty request to Red Octane, you don't have to send the old one back. You get to keep it. So they'll just send you a new guitar. And,
Yeah.
and when I did that,
So I didn't do
after I clicked
the
submit,
warranty
after
thing. I
was
just
done
sent
filling
my
it out,
shit back to
I didn't-
GameStop.
there was,
But
like, no
whenever
confirmation
eventually,
saying,
whenever
thanks for submitting, you'll get a notification, whatever.
I
So, like, it didn't
started
go through.
dealing with the
It was good to
Activision
begin. So I
support
got sent 2 free guitars
team
for my
on
one
Twitter.
broken one.
They,
And then those other ones, they
multiple
ended up breaking.
they sent me
knew-
replacements. They're
they
multiple. They're
knew,
just like,
like,
don't worry about it.
they knew what they had to do. They were like, we can't
We'll
ask
send you
people
the
to
new
send these
parts.
back.
We'll send
We
you a
just
new
gotta send
guitar.
you ones out.
Yeah,
They
we
knew,
gotta
you
make
know?
it
And hopefully it
World Tour
works.
was their biggest hardware failure. I mean, Guitar Hero 3, like, listen, Les Paul's problems or not,
Yeah.
they were a huge hit,
World
They were
Tour.
huge. I mean,
World Tour instruments were definitely
neck
sensors
connector.
and the neck connector.
were controllers of all
Yeah.
time.
It was a bare just a
Uh-huh.
circuit board. It was touching.
It's like with
metal
Guitar
pins.
Hero, World Tour, and
It's
5
like-
guitars. It's full on
and then,
penetration.
like, my
Guitar
dad
Hero
saw it and
3
was
was just
"That's
like
really
dry
interesting."
humping. With the Les Pauls is such
and
a
I want to
dungeon.
I think what I want to know the most
man.
is whether that was considered an innovation by the engineering team that developed these controllers,
Mm-hmm.
or if they were forced to cut costs.
It was
my
it was
theory.
to save on shipping.
Did they want to use a real
It was-
connector
it
like
was
in
for
the World
bundles.
Tours? Because spoiler alert,
Oh, yeah,
that fixed
yeah, yeah, right.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It fixed
yeah.
everything.
Not
Tried
so
taking my
much
guitar
about,
back
like,
and
the connector
sore,
type,
but the
I
problem
think just
was the guys were
entire
toys
detachable
couldn't
neck
play on
gimmick
expert, so they
all
couldn't
along
test
was
the
just about
problem.
shipping and like taking up less space on the shelf so you can
These
stock
fucking
more of them.
normies.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now. Having a store, it saves a ton of fucking money. It saves a lot of money. You know.
Be able to take them apart
really
and store them.
does.
Yeah.
Here's
So-
one of the other hacks for saving money back in the day. The one that I did for getting new controllers was the protection plans for
At Best Buy?
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
I never
you
got
know
my shit
what?
from
You're
Best
not
Buy.
the first person I've heard say that. Actually, Best
I don't
Buy
think
was like crazy with all the rhythm game stuff.
At that point,
They
you
had their own
couldn't get
accessories.
protections
It
on
was
stuff like that, like at
$15
GameStop.
to, like,
It's
cover
like-
it.
It was
like
always,
$5.
My buddy did that
Specifically
for headsets
only
up
for the
until, like, a
discs
couple years ago.
and
You
consoles.
get a headset, use it for a couple years, and then send it. Go back to Best Buy with this little insurance thing. You get a new one, and just repeat the process over and over and over again.
Stick it to
actually
the
really funny I bring
man.
this up right now because I just saw a piece of news that's relevant for this. That if there is a new Guitar Hero,
Yeah.
might be an issue for the game.
Hmm.
Which is just this week, Best Buy announced they're no longer going to be carrying
Yes.
physical
Saw that.
media
Okay, so
for video
Yes.
games, like for movies, any DVD.
if I remember right, this was
Blu-rays, things like
recorded before that was clarified
So
that they're
it's
still going to
insane.
carry games.
Yeah, I
So
wonder if that would affect if there is a new game.
in case he was
you know,
like, they
would
didn't
the
say that.
guitar
This was
hardware be
recorded before
included
that.
in that, as a game.
I think like at this point, if it's a video game controller, they're gonna sell it. And I think with everybody trying to do this digital only move, which I do not fuck with at all.
It's not good.
This whole digital media thing.
Oh, but discs
it's
just have the
like, we
license
don't
on there. You
we
still
don't
gotta download
truly
it.
Own this stuff.
It's on
We
the
don't
cloud.
truly own. This
I still
stuff.
own
like,
what's
if
on
if it's in the cloud.
what's on the disc.
That we don't have explicit
So I have so many
access
fucking
to
cases.
modify and change.
You could save so much
ourselves.
space. Sure
we
could.
don't own these things.
Nope.
And so like that's a big problem. But
I've already had
it also
digital
further
movies I
pushes the
bought,
idea
like, 10 years
that
ago
Guitar
being
Hero is
taken
gonna be
down.
This platform,
Taken away.
It could be just this
And
big
it sucks.
platform where they just give us songs. They just give
Yeah.
us songs and we pay a subscription for it because that's how it would work in this current year.
Yeah.
And then they would just sell controllers at like the local.
I would
Walmart,
hope that
local
with
Best Buy, or
the
wherever.
failure of Guitar Hero Live,
I still can't
that
believe GameStop
they stay
is
away from
alive.
that.
But like they would sell it. They would
Hey,
sell
Hey,
it there.
I don't know if you
too.
heard about this, but a few years ago there was actually a stock run on GameStop. Did you hear
No,
about
bro,
this?
bro, bro. You heard about
There's a
that?
thing called a short squeeze. I can
know-
talk about this for at length if you want. I just watched a documentary about it.
Just watch the
You know,
documentary.
Alec and I actually had a friend that
Yeah,
had
just sell
GameStop
controllers.
stock that they forgot about.
Oh, dude, come on.
And they
Well, yeah.
she cashed out like immediately.
You know what could be a really good idea? Isaac, follow me on
I
this.
thought you were
Everybody
gonna go
else.
with she
You know how
didn't-
Microsoft
she-
has
she
the
saw
the
it-
controller
She
program
saw
where you
the
can build your
news
own
and
controller,
She was like, "Oh shit!"
different colors, colored buttons, all that kind of
I'm gonna
shit.
Sell. Why is Robinhood not allowing me to sell?
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
doubtful, but
yeah,
imagine
and
like
so
a
going
personal
back
build
to,
your own
like, the
guitar
controller quality and stuff. It's just
through
I
Microsoft.
hope
Expensive?
they
Fuck yeah, it'd be
understand, like,
expensive.
the points of failure that
You see that a
happen.
couple million times.
So
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And the Guitar Hero Live guitars, and like that was the last like
like
big
built
manufactured
on
guitar
order,
gun that came
so
out
they
was
don't
in
just
2015.
exist.
Already,
right?
Oh my god! Almost
But
a
you want mech
decade ago.
frets?
I hate that.
There you go.
I hate
I
that.
hate that.
You
too. I
want,
was in college, I was in-
Yeah.
Eight
That was
year
my senior
anniversary
You want a
of
certain
high
strum
school.
bar? There you go. You want a bigger whammy,
Oh,
smaller
God,
whammy,
Yeah, I was in college, and then my mom took me to GameStop.
Hardwired?
I remember getting the game and going home.
Wireless?
I borrowed my dad's PS4, and I was
I
like,
don't know.
"This is a game."
It is a game.
but it's
It
an
was
option.
like-
One of the games of all time.
And,
It was like crazy because like I got it. I was in college in upstate New York, and you know, like I bought it, and
That'd be
it
cool,
came
but
and everything. And I
financially
had Rock Band
disastrous.
4 before
What
this,
would be
and, like,
financially
Rock Band
disastrous
4 already had
about
its own issues that,
creating
like,
on
the
order?
drums barely even worked. That's
Disaster.
a separate thing, yeah, entirely. But
Like you have all the parts,
which actually, you know
right?
what? I will say they had to fix the drums. Through
You
a
have all the
firmware
parts mass
update.
produced for regular guitars,
And even then,
and then
they
you give the
didn't really fix it.
option.
and it didn't do anything.
But I got
For people
I got
to order
Guitar Hero
on
Live,
demand.
and I remember my first issue being that the frets got stuck really easily.
Because was want to do that? I think more than you'd think.
It was, and it was like,
Man.
like don't get me wrong, I have fond memories of like going to GHTV.
But
and
again,
playing,
ordered
like, Ghost
on
Walking, and
demand,
I loved playing
ordered
Ghost Walking,
or
and,
built
like,
by
and, like,
order,
Cult of
as in
Personality,
nothing,
the Living
nothing
bro.
happens, nothing exists
Private
until
Feelings, probably-
the money
probably
is
the most
spent by the
fun song in the
customer for
Single-handedly
what they
got me
want.
into Alter
Yeah,
Bridge.
great song.
Ultra
and,
Bridge.
like the Living Color song that was in there.
But
as
yeah,
well.
that
But
answer
it
how
was
many
like-
casual
it
players
just-
want to do that? A lot of them.
I didn't.
Just like
I didn't even
whenever
realize what was
the
happening
custom
at
controller
that
thing
point,
came
like,
out,
with
it's
that
like,
service
who the
and
fuck wants to
everything. Like,
build a
I
custom
wasn't even
controller? Just go to the
really
store and do
aware of what
that.
was happening.
It's
Like, I was
why
kinda
would you
like,
want to
oh, this
spend
neat, they
more
streamlined
just because
it,
it's
but,
different
like, I
color
didn't realize,
buttons
like, how long
and
I was about that. They did
fucking
not streamline it
gangbusters?
at all.
Now, would guitar
was the
controllers be the
opposite.
same as that?
It's
Hell
so,
no.
It's so odd
But
to me
I think
because,
it would be
hey, here's a
more
fun
than enough.
little behind the scenes fact.
controller. And wait, we
I
skip
at one point was
buy that game
interviewed for the community manager position on Guitar Hero Live.
before I could play the game.
This is when I was working.
What are you
at
talking
Ubisoft
about?
on
Yep,
Rocksmith.
on Rocksmith.
And you know, hey, my passion for Guitar Hero, I was like, all right, well, there's this new game, and hey, there's
Before I
a
could
community
play a game?
manager position. Let's do this whole presentation on doing esports. With
I don't
Guitar
understand what you're
Hero
saying.
again. We can
The
do
game would
this-
come
we
bundled
can
with
do
the
this
guitar.
right this time. And them
That's the
saying,
only way to get
"No,
a
you've
new
got some
guitar
really
is to
great
buy it
ideas,
with the
but,
game.
We're gonna wait until Guitar Hero Live.
Just like when you buy a console, it comes with the controller.
before we start doing tournaments. And
Yeah, did you hear that?
It's,
I'm gonna-
it's just really funny.
gonna go
in
back on that.
retrospect to look at that.
Hold on. Listen to what he said.
Great ideas. Well, there's this rock
Yep.
position. It's fact. Because
Streamline it at all.
Here we go. Listen to
It was the
Jason here.
opposite.
it's so odd to me because, hey, here's a fun little behind the scenes fact. I at one point was interviewed for the community manager position on Guitar Hero Live. This is when I was working at Ubisoft on
Yep,
Rocksmith.
on Rocksmith.
And you know, hey, my passion for Guitar Hero, I was like, all right, well, there's this new game, and hey, there's a community manager position. Let's
Mm-hmm.
do this whole presentation on doing esports with Guitar Hero again. We can do this. We can do this right this time. And them saying, well, you've got some really great ideas, but we're gonna wait until Guitar Hero Live's a little more popular first before we start doing tournaments. And,
Everybody's face is just like
it's
fucking
just
rough.
really funny in retrospect.
Instead
to
of
look at
mass-produced
that
guitars,
and no,
it still
community
costs too
manager
much.
They did hire lasted about
Right.
3 months.
3 months.
I
But
still don't
if you
get the
look
argument.
on the Guitar Hero subreddit. The account is still a moderator there.
Mass-produced guitars, yeah,
Yeah, I'm
to
serious.
sell the
I hope that's
game.
not banned an account.
Yeah.
I'm
The
a mod
custom
on
guitars would be-
r/Guitar Hero.
Yeah, you are.
I'm
completely-
a Reddit mod, bro.
under one of your
Separate
old
for that,
alt
like-
names too, right?
I think I'm an
No,
approved
that's like my
you
user.
changed
regular.
it?
That's like my that's like my regular ass Reddit account.
Yeah.
FSG Stevie, that's her man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what? That name
Oh,
sounds familiar
yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah,
yeah.
That is a
She was-
abandoned account, my
It's
friends.
honestly
Yeah.
really, she was
Stevie was the
really
person I was in
kind,
contact with
but
when
I feel
Live was
like
coming out. That
she didn't like the direction of where things were going. I
So
feel
she
like.
got out.
that
And she just went, "Yo,
we're
I'm
gonna set
done."
up like
Because
we
it's
did
like-
Guitar Hero for our wedding.
Bye.
How are you supposed
And,
to be a
um,
community manager if you
I'm
if
gonna
they won't even
do
let you
like
manage
send
the
them pictures, and they were gonna do stuff for like
Exactly.
community
How?
marketing and all
You
that kind of
know?
stuff. But
Yeah, what does a community manager
Never heard
really
back.
do but manage the community?
And it's like we
take
don't even
Exactly.
know at this
feedback and
point.
such.
You know, like we haven't even gotten an opportunity to see somebody be given the reins to actually do their fucking job. You know?
I can tell you from experience when I was on Rocksmith what I did. when I was making social media schedules and responding to people and getting the feedback on DLC from the community so I could communicate it to the developers.
Interesting.
That we could actually fact check that against sales numbers and see how we were doing with our product.
Also, if he didn't pick that up, he
Wow.
essentially
What a novel
said,
idea.
taking feedback
know,
from the
it makes
community
me
was like, why
realize,
is
like,
this
did
fucking
we-
DLC? It's
Did we
Rocksmith,
ever
not
really have that
Popsmith.
with
And then
Guitar
comparing
Hero?
it to
Because,
sales.
Like, we got songs that we wanted with
And then
Warriors
what
of
kept
Rock, but when-
happening?
Like,
Popular
we all
shit
grew up
kept
with this
getting
game,
added
and,
as
like, looking
DLC.
back, like, the more I look back on the games that came out, the more I realized that, like, how many of us actually asked for a lot of these things, right?
So there was a few things that happened in old Guitar Hero days that I would love to see revisited because they did have people on staff, but they just weren't as forward facing, right? One of the people who
At the time, there really wasn't much of a community manager role in anything. Like social
Yeah.
media was hardly even a thing. That was still like
Yeah.
MySpace
2009
era,
is whenever-
early Facebook era. Twitter wasn't even a thing when
Yeah.
Guitar Hero
Forums.
1 came out. Yeah, it was all
2009
forums. It
was whenever I
forums,
joined Twitter,
by
and
extension.
the Guitar Hero
That's
social
probably
media
when
was
they did a lot
very
of community
active.
management, was Score Hero.
then.
Somebody else's forum.
there was a guy named Guitar Hero Eric. And
Eric
I think
Finale!
Alec has met him as well.
That name rings a
'cause
bell.
The man,
He was
the
guy who ran
legend.
the tournament in San Francisco that you ended up winning. One of the
Yeah,
last
man.
official
Finale, right?
Yeah, the
Finale,
man, the myth,
that's
the
it.
legend.
Eric
Yes.
Finale, that was his name.
I was literally gonna bring him up but I'm glad you know more info about it because
Yeah.
I thought he was the first community manager.
People were complaining about certain
Yes,
songs and
at
stuff
the
that didn't make a
time,
single submission.
'cause,
Yep.
like, I don't know.
I
he was
wasn't
like,
that Dan?
I got control of the
Dan
Guitar
Amrick?
Hero
Was that
Twitter,
him?
and,
I
like, he
swear
showed
I
me on
remember
his
seeing
iPhone
something
at
like
the
that.
time, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's cool.
And
he, like,
it was
followed
him.
me, and
Like, he got-
I don't know what
like, he
happened,
was,
the Guitar Hero account
like, oh,
unfollowed me,
really?
Or that was
Possibly?
completely-
Yeah.
Unless
Man,
was a
I love
complete-
Dan. He didn't give a
I'm gonna
fuck.
follow. Oh no! I blocked the Guitar Hero account because I hated Guitar Hero Live, and I unblocked it.
Oh, so it unfollowed you.
Oh no.
I
I was
nuked
like-
my
I was
Twitter
like,
account,
I'm
so
sick of
Guitar
this
Hero's
bro,
not.
so I
The
made
Guitar Hero
Hero
account doesn't
unfollow
follow me.
Man,
Yeah.
you really showed them.
Hey, so Guitar Hero
Really
Eric,
showed me.
that guy.
Yeah, Eric Finale.
He was the person who helped
He was
me set up
probably the
all
person
of
who
the
was-
old tournaments that I would help.
Yes.
He was
Yeah,
probably
so-
He was
the
an
reason why
awesome guy.
Warriors
Yeah,
of Rock
yeah, I
had
met him in San
any
Jose.
kind of longevity.
He was one of the first people to really believe in actually helping
Past a
run
certain point.
events.
Yeah.
And so
Like,
I
he
ended
was
up running
super into
in-person
community
events for Guitar
events.
Hero and DJ Hero at
He was
a
behind the
giant music
GH
festival for, like, nerd
community
music in
nights,
Orlando,
the weekly nights
and
on
at
Twitter.
a arcade
Remember being
in
a thing?
Chicago one year.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
it was ridiculous to
Fun
see the
fact: when I met
community
up with him
outreach for
down here
that,
in
right? Like,
Texas, he was doing
there were
marketing for
people inside
Cabela's,
Activision that wanted to do it, but the
and
follow-through from
that's how we ended up
Activision
doing a
wasn't
community
there.
night
Biggest
from my
example is
house.
when we did the first
And
ever stream to
I
the
showed him a
Guitar
really
Hero
great
tournament.
restaurant,
They
and
let
he took me to a
pass that,
Stars game the next night.
for VVV Gaming.
Dallas Stars hockey
Guitar Hero
game.
Invitational.
It was awesome.
Yes.
All
Back
time
in
memory.
2012, so that's like a
Yeah, it was
decade ago at this
2012.
point.
Oh my
2012, and it was Warriors of Rock.
Really a thing in
Yeah,
UK.
yeah, we
It was a
casted
Warriors
that
of Rock
That
Invitational,
exists for
and,
public
that was
publicized.
really cool
Yeah.
and stuff.
See, that's
And
a-
what
that's
was that
what-
on? Was that on Ustream or was that on
That's
Justin?
that's what sucks.
That was on the
Back then, it
first
seems
year
like
on
a lot of
Twitch.
things were mostly
Right, that was
focused
like
towards
right after
US.
Justin switched over.
Just in general, right?
wow.
I never really knew of anything
I'm
outside the
sure
US. It
there's a
seems like in the
VOD
past, like
recovery of that, like
The
somewhere.
whole
5-10
season,
years?
The whole
oh,
tournament's still on YouTube.
Yes.
5 years.
Yeah.
Globally has gotten a lot
I
better in
remember the
terms
setup
of
for it. It was like you had to have 3 people in game, and then they would
like more
capture
localized events
the 2 other
outside of the
highways.
US.
That was my workaround.
Hey,
because there was no
Kiva, we
spectator
got the
mode on
first,
console,
nice.
so
Spectator mode.
I
No.
jumped into a 3-player match, used a capture card, and only captured the 2 highways.
Hmm.
Okay, so I found
Let's
this
do it at
tournament.
least before
It's
Warriors
like
actually,
actually
UK.
well put
Yes, sir,
together.
we'll
There's a
keep
whole
you posted.
playlist on YouTube, 30 videos, each
yeah.
individual matchup.
It's just the first year all invalid now.
It's like
Well, thank you.
For
very
War
individual.
Job,
Yeah, you did a great
single event in
job.
London on day's release. Man,
11 years
you got to
ago,
think.
2012.
It's wild.
You
look
gotta
back
think at that
that
point, things were very
and
limited.
Realize that hey, the winner for this tournament is sitting with us because Alec
I mean,
won that event.
from what I remember, what it
And
feels like.
they never gave him his prizes.
Nope.
Yeah,
Oh, shot. Really? What were
I
you supposed to
Swear
win?
to God.
it was very much
I don't
Eric
know
made shit
exactly what I
happen
was supposed to win.
in the
I should
US.
have brought this down because I still
despite
have it here. I
what seems to be,
legitimately
like,
still have a
handcuffs
DJ Hero
In
flask.
terms of what
that
he
I'm
was
supposed to give to
allowed
him.
to do.
I swear to God.
I have that DJ here. I have the. Hold
I
on,
swear to
wait.
God, that was one of the
Yeah.
things.
Well,
You got to make
And
things
they-
right.
I don't
Jason.
know
You gotta
exactly
make it
where it
right.
is, but I have the DJ Hero 2 flask as well.
I was in
Yeah.
your state last month. We should have, yeah.
But
we
yeah,
should've met halfway.
that's why
it's okay. No,
Nowadays,
next time,
if they
next
did
time.
that, I
Next
believe
time,
there'd
it's
be a
your wait
really.
time,
Absolutely.
It'd be a really good
that's-
shot to
that's
get more
another thing, I feel
worldwide
like, because
events
I feel
happening.
like we have to mention off season 2.
Oh, season 2!
Man,
Oh, Oh, what a
no,
fucking
like-
time.
them
It was magic.
them like actually being so supportive of just the idea that Guitar Hero 3 is going to be this. It was going to be like a $2,000 tournament for Guitar Hero 3 in 2023.
Yeah.
Which
Hey,
that
we
doesn't
got
sound like a lot,
okay.
but it really
Yeah,
is.
maybe we can
It
get
really
we can
is.
get, man. $2,000 is nothing.
Also,
to
meant to say,
stop at.
Kiva, I hope
Yeah,
you're
it's
doing
not
well, man.
chump change, man.
No,
I mean,
Happy to see
that's
you.
like
for Guitar Hero.
for Guitar Hero
Paid
in
for finger quick strip out there for sure.
Yeah, Guitar Hero 3,
yeah.
MLG
17
today
years.
at the Hot Pocket
Oh, no,
stand
almost-
that they
that's
put up,
15
it was
years.
$50. Okay, we'll take
More or
it.
less.
Yeah.
You can buy so many hot pockets with
16 years?
$50.
You can, man.
You can eat for a
So
month.
many.
Like, 2,000 bucks
Best Buy gift
is
cards now that I think
nuts. That's
You know
Best Buy
what?
gift
I
cards.
could totally,
Yeah.
I could
Best Buy.
totally see that too.
Yeah.
I totally see that. But yeah, no, I mean, like, me and JP just being able to be a part of that was really cool. I think like JP being able to supply the guitars for it was such
Well,
a
typical
fucking
all
clutch
things.
move.
It
That
was like,
incredible.
Good to hear,
I-
man.
If
like,
we didn't have the
Sitting in
guitars,
trees.
I think like the tournament would have just
well, that's actually
Just staring people down.
So it's funny you mentioned that because, well, first of all, I do have this on my desk.
That was a good time, man.
So I've got a picture with everybody, and then I also have a picture with, and I really want to shout her out. It's me, Finger Quick, and
Finger
Guitars
Quick is the
Scarfoot,
one
so
who
that
won
she
first
painted
place.
that faceplate. She's a wonderful human being. I am not that talented. I'm not even close. But you know,
Yeah,
being
the
hit
trophies
up
for first place for
by Hitch,
a lot of the
I
tournaments were
remember
like
that I was just,
guitars.
on my PC.
Like I think
And
Black Ops 2 had a
I get,
bass
you know,
guitar
you know how Twitter
custom.
works. I get followers every now and
Smash
then. Like I get
Singles
a follow from
had
Optic
a
Hitch,
custom
and I'm like, I do a double take. I'm like,
six
what?
string, and
Because I go on
then
his page,
Guitar
he's a
Hero 3
creative
had
director for Optic,
a
and I'm like,
custom
okay.
Kramer.
I do a little bit of Twitter stalking, and I put two and two together, and I realized that Optic is putting on this event, and it's going to have a Guitar Hero tournament. And then, like, not even after that, Alec pings me, and he's like, "Yo, my boy Hitch is trying to get in touch with you."
Yeah, I remember
And
seeing this.
I was like, I kind of
what,
realized I was like
back in like
I realized what
June
they
or
wanted.
something.
I
was like,
realized
oh
that they
shit,
wanted
that's cool.
guitars, so
It's
I got
in
in touch
Dallas.
with him,
Fuck yeah. Then I
and,
forgot about it because of school and
when we were
things.
there.
And then literally,
The way that it was set up is
like
that
the
we had
Monday
our own
before
little.
it
was
happened,
adorable, actually. We had our own
I
little
popped on
adorable
one of
area where we
side
had
streams.
a PC
and,
set up with a vertical
somebody
and a
mentioned off, and I
horizontal
was like,
monitor.
Oh yeah, what is this?
And like, and
then
had
I
a
went and
TV
signed up,
in front
and,
of that with speakers.
that's all there
and,
is.
Like it was roped off, and then behind that was a stage that had.
It was such a tiny
small
little
table
stage.
set up with
I liked it.
really
It was
good
simple.
monitor. Yeah, Alex got. So
it was
that-
right by the
that
snack
was our
bar,
streaming setup.
and it was right next
It
to
was-
where the
again,
booze was
big
being sold.
shout-outs to the
Awesome.
community there because they.
up here. That's where
Yeah.
they played the game
Yeah.
on the stage. That was like the big stage.
Yeah, it was tiny,
that
man.
was the big stage for us, you know.
Yeah,
That was
that's
the
all we
stage.
need.
Stage is a big
That's all we
stage.
needed. We don't need a big ass
so-
stage.
This is it right here. So
That was the setup.
That was-
Really,
Although
really,
I will say, give
really
us-
good
give us a
gaming
lighting
monitor,
setup,
actually.
you know
I'll
what I
hand
mean?
it to them. Really good monitor. Had like no
Give us-
no
give us
input
the
lag.
lighting
We were able to
setup.
do 0-0 calibration the whole time.
That's another
which is
thing.
like crazy because I can't
0-0
even do that on my
calibration was
monitor.
fucking nuts.
I have to do
No.
15 on GH3.
felt-
Even with
felt
my wireless
incredible.
guitar, it was
I
nice.
didn't realize
Yeah.
that quick response monitors like even existed. And
But
so,
it was like
yeah,
it was just amazing because being able to have moments where we had I think that the best match was Snigma versus Mackie
yeah.
Oh, that was
Mackey's the dude who
That
fucked
was
my
so
shit up
good.
twice.
because they were
Knocked me to
and they
losers
were
and knocked
playing
me
before
out.
I forget, and it was like it was insane. Like that was the one big pop off that we had. And like the whole room heard us because
Wrong!
we, like, for a small amount of people
Well,
we got really loud.
the
you know?
pop off, yeah.
And like
But I would argue that
you know, being able to provide
my
the hardware,
runs,
they had a
on
setup
Number
where
of
they
the
had
Beast were a
another
little bit
pools
more
area
intense.
that was unfortunately off stream, and a lot of people.
Unless
were
that match was
frustrated
decided
by that.
by,
But, hey,
like,
things do improve the next year, right?
very small
it
amount of
happens,
points.
We'll talk about that. But
But
they
I
had
would
one area
argue
set up where they had
my
3 different
350
Xboxes, and one of
point
them was
win
dedicated
against
to pools.
Student 1
And so
on
I
Beast.
supplied 2 World Tour guitars and 2 Explorers,
Is up there.
right? So the pool setup, they had went out and gotten just like stock Les Pauls. Right?
This is interesting to hear
and within
about how the
an hour,
guitar situation was set
they
up.
had to just get rid of them. Mm-hmm. Because they didn't
Stock
work.
guitars,
I didn't even know that.
hogwash.
They didn't
They
work.
don't work.
One of the TOs came up to me and he was like, "I think one of your guitars is bugging out." And I was like, "What?" You know?
So
I'm,
the
like,
fuck did you
freaking
just
out
say?
now because I'm like this was really important to me. Like I perfectioned the hell out of those things, you know.
Mm.
And it ended up being the stock guitars, right? The tilt sensors didn't work.
Yeah.
The buttons weren't working.
Classic
Yeah.
The
Les
strum
Paul.
bar was overstrung.
Classic Les Paul.
This is why use
Classic
the
Les Pauls,
Guitar Hero
so they just
5.
got rid of them, you know. But it was like
GH5 Band Hero. That's
you know,
the guitar you want.
It was
It's
surreal,
the
like
best.
getting
Best
like,
guitar.
compliments from like the TOs and like Hitch and other people about.
Which
like,
is funny because
like,
that
them saying, like,
the
dude, like, you really,
World
like, you
Tour
really
guitar
carried this with the hardware, like, we
is
wouldn't have been
Finger
able to do
Quick
it.
kept
And, like, you know,
taking it from the
like-
different ones. He's like, yeah, I'm using that one.
like validation and stuff is like sometimes.
To be
it's
fair, I
hard
think
for
he
me
was
to
the only
believe,
person I
right?
saw that wanted a specific guitar. I was
Because-
like,
I get told
man's
that I'm
used
doing great all the time. and, like I always say to myself, "Am I though?"
the right shape.
Right?
Imposter
As it should
syndrome,
be.
baby.
Imposter syndrome every
As it
single
should
day,
be.
man. And like, but I guess the magic of the event was just like the community being there because
It was,
people
man.
still care. They still care.
They
you know?
do,
There was,
motherfucker.
like,
There were so many OG players there too, which like
And there were a
kinda blew
lot
my
of
mind.
Smash players
Game
that were
Freak
in
was
there.
man.
Yeah.
Game Freak, like
Incognito mode,
That
under a
student
different
won.
alias.
That's what I'm talking
And
about.
Under the radar
we-
until he was up on stage, and I think somebody typed in the chat, "That's Game Freak up there."
Mm-hmm.
Like, wait,
no, it was you. You were the one. Who
I'm not.
typed
I
that.
wasn't
I
super
found
familiar with him,
somebody
but I
else
knew
first,
the name. I
somebody
was
else.
like,
Did
oh
you?
shit.
who
That's
was it?
crazy.
I don't remember who found it first, but I was like, "That's Game Freak." That name
Yeah.
I haven't seen in 12 years. The
Yeah.
one that
Yeah.
I know him.
The one
Turns out
that
he lives in
everybody
Minnesota.
confused with Gammo. You know.
Yeah, that's the one.
Um,
Similar names, different people.
Yeah, but it was like and Kingsy being there. Kingsy is also an OG.
Hey, it's me.
I love
Yeah,
King
Kingsy
Yes.
is awesome. We actually played some games on the side. I think I beat him on Raining Blood because I
did.
did really well on Flood. But
I suck on
like,
Raining Blood.
The magic, like it just showed that like it never went anywhere. It's still there. You know?
It's good times,
and I
man.
think that's what's important for us to really cling on to in these trying times.
And these trying
which
times.
It used to be a lot worse. You know,
I'd say all things considered, we're in a really good place right now.
we're in the best
Yeah.
place we've been in a long time.
We have
The plastic guitar community has been very much.
I don't know. I'm not trying to like conspiracy theory over here.
There's
but I
a
wonder if
lot
they
of
knew anything.
A lot of
You
things have
know?
kept it in
I
motion.
wonder if they knew
Perpetual.
if behind the scenes, hey, there's these breadcrumbs that
Hmm?
Activision's been laying.
Well,
You know, we see the
I
hope
got
of the
an,
community.
yeah. I mean, but the thing is, I think just Guitar Hero being there, because Hitch had messaged me like a year prior to this event.
That's
like,
crazy.
As of, like this month or
Like the
next
fact
month,
that
maybe.
the Guitar Hero
He
3
like,
thing
"Yeah,
was
man,
planned out a year in
do
advance.
A charity event or something. Would you be interested in hosting like a Guitar Hero tournament? And so then we
Oh,
got
it's
to
been that
talking.
old then. That's great.
Yeah. So like it was kind of just it's just kind of like a right place, right time thing. Like as
Timing's
much as I would
natural.
like, yeah, as much
It's
as,
great
yeah,
when the
it's all
stars align, man.
natural, You know, just like
It
hey,
really
man,
is.
I want you to do this thing, and like I was like, oh, a Guitar Hero tournament. That's like a lot of pressure. I wanted to do it. In my heart, like I wanted to do it. And I ended up doing it, which was great. It was just
It was a
everything
lot of
like, last
pressure.
second. It was a lot of pressure though, because it was in person.
Like
What's the turnout gonna be? I really
Mm-hmm.
hope people show up to this, and it kind of surpassed my expectations like 4 times.
Yeah.
Seeing the
I'm
amount
saying
of
because
people,
whenever I
They had to
signed
cut off
up,
entrance because they were
Yeah.
overbooked.
yeah,
they were
Yeah.
overbooked.
The,
They
uh,
overbooked.
all
It was a
48
sold-out
spots
event, and the whole
got
tournament.
filled. Whenever I signed
I mean,
up on
like,
the Tuesday
tournament, like,
or
had its
Monday
own set of
before it
issues,
happened,
but like
I think it
this won't be
had
a
like
problem if,
25-ish
next time.
people.
If there is a next time, then
And
you
then
know,
just
there'll be more
fucking
dedicated
zip.
people to Guitar Hero, because there's a lot of crossover between the Smash pools and the Guitar Hero pools.
Yeah,
and
there's
Yes.
there's a lot of
Which actually,
That was its own
beautiful.
battle.
crisscross.
That was
A lot of
its own
people
battle in
got
itself for the
DQ'd
tournament
because they were
side of
competing
things, but player-wise, there
in
are so
melee
many
pools.
Smash players that were just like playing Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
and there's a lot of crossover, and like there's like good players and like a lot of better players than I was expecting.
Yeah.
that were in that tournament that also played Smash as well, like
We
Magi.
met a lot of really cool
Yeah,
people.
she-
Yeah, Magi killed it.
No, she
You know.
killed it on the stage there, and like, and she unfortunately had to drop out because she was focusing on the Smash tournament.
She was in top 6.
understandable.
She's top-
Melee. Yeah.
I get it. Smash singles was like 25K, while
Yeah.
Guitar Hero.
It's like we all love Guitar Hero, but if you have to choose between the $2,000
singles
tournament and the
took forever.
$25,000 tournament,
So, and also Guitar Hero 3 took forever also because
Yes.
we had like set
Oh,
time
man.
lengths of each match.
Uh-huh.
You know, each song on average was like 4
kinda
minutes.
underselling
wasn't
it.
even,
And
like-
people,
Motherfucker,
people
I was-
weren't able to make it as well.
day one
and
didn't
then
end until
no,
11:30 at
also-
night.
Also, the other thing that happened was that,
Or
as
11.
Alec mentioned, there was crossover, and so
Yeah.
people were in a Smash match
I
when
think-
their Guitar Hero match was starting.
And vice
You know?
versa.
My
And so
Yeah.
they had to drop out
before
and
my
prioritize
final
us.
matches
It's fine.
started,
Like Mackie,
Like, I was
so
done
Mackie
by,
ended
like,
up, he was in losers bracket for
5:30,
Smash
4:30?
singles, right?
and I
Mackie
didn't
was one
start
of
up
the
again
finalists,
until about
against-
7:30 or
well,
8.
Yeah, one of two, I should say. And
It might have been
he was
later.
in losers bracket. He went up to the TO.
But
He was
essentially,
like, hey,
I
I'm
was
in the
playing
grand final of Guitar Hero, so like I can't play Smash.
on that
Hero.
stage
Like,
for
"All
at
right,
least 2 hours.
sounds good. You know.
I was sitting there, it's
Sounds
like
good.
I'm too.
But,
It's like
yeah,
what is happening?
Legendary
I'm supposed to be in
Grand
bed.
Finals, Finger Quick is a monster.
My whole ass
and,
isn't built for this
He also
anymore.
started on Wii, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
fun
a lot,
fact.
a lot of Wii
Yep.
players.
And then Alec did his performance, which, by the way,
That was fun.
not planned.
That was
Yeah.
100%.
It was not
It
planned.
was
Yeah.
100%.
They had him
improv,
get
like,
up on
no-
stage, and there was a
It came
light
off
show,
right.
and he played even flow, and
Yeah, it was.
If it was planned,
it was a
would've
whole
been
thing.
lame.
It was
Would've been
fun.
super late.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's like, oh, brother.
Yeah.
It was so
Get up
cool.
there, work.
No. Like they straight up, just because we had like a little bit of time after the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Hitch was like, yeah, dude, you wanted to go on? I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Why not?
And so I got to live out every 12-year-old's dream. Every
Yeah.
12-year-old in like 2008.
I'm a walk star.
To be fair, whenever
Yeah.
he was up there doing it, I was like, man, I wish I was up there.
Like,
I win winning up on the main
I was like, that's my
stage.
gimmick.
yeah.
Give me a
and then,
stage.
obviously,
Give me a
channel
microphone.
Freddie
I'll
Wong
sing this
energy. I had to do
motherfucker.
it.
Yeah.
I had to do Freddie Wong.
You did a great job. I mean, you know, like I thought like I was confused at first because I was worried that I would look really dumb because they had played rock. He mentioned they had played Rock Band 4.
Oh,
I thought that they were
yeah.
gonna like bring out the whole band set and bring us
Motherfucker.
all up or something.
While
so, like,
me and
I went to go
Knack
take my
were
headset off, and
playing
I put my
our
hand down,
fucking,
and I was like, all right, just wait it out, you know.
I think it
And I was
was
glad that I
top-
did
top
because I would have
16.
looked really fucking dumb.
match.
Upstairs, just like
They
be the
just
hype man or
fucking
something.
blare on
Yeah,
the
it
stage
would've been,
playing
like, the
Rock
most
Band
socially
4.
awkward situation
I
ever
think they
been, like,
played
yeah, I'm here.
The Sign by
Actually,
Ace of
Rock Band,
Base.
when they played Rock Band 4, they had a little bit of technical issues. I
And
think
it fucking
battery
drowned out
died.
everything. We were sitting there and I was like,
Big
well, we're
Slime
not
was
playing
at the time.
anytime
He's like,
soon.
What the fuck
Yeah.
is going on?
And then, of course, whenever the game
honestly,
failed,
though,
Knack was like,
Smashing
yeah!
guitar bit.
Get
Like, I don't know if he
fucked!
actually smashed the guitar, but that was what the bit was apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't.
Yeah. Whenever Rock,
we were still
everything
casting the
stopped
tournament at
working,
that
Yeah.
point. It was
Knack
so
lost his fucking. She's like,
loud.
yeah, fuck you, Rock Band
It was
4.
really loud, and there was
It was
also
funny.
Sasquatch.
Yeah, the Sasquatch was funny.
Sasquatch was
Some
walking
motherfucker
around,
getting up on the
definitely
Smash stage.
You did not get
Just-
the memo that it's actually a
Yeah.
serious competition for some of these games. He was up there like fucking around. Some dude handed him his controller. He was already losing. the match.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy was awesome. I
He's like,
forget
dude, getting
name,
his
but
ass
he
whipped,
was
passes off the
awesome.
controller. Sasquatch
Yeah.
sits down, finishes the
Colin,
set.
Dude, Colin's a legend.
Mm.
But I get.
Also, who they're talking about there? They don't. I don't think they follow up here. Colin, Righteous Dude, was there
I
having
really,
fun.
I really wish that.
and
I really
performed,
wish that both
like,
of you
he was
guys
on stage, he
coulda-
got
coulda
up and he
been there
played
with
and all
us
that.
because,
Oh, I had
He
such
literally,
bad
like,
FOMO just
he
sitting here on
played
my
through
dock
his
watching this, like,
his
I wanna
sets.
be there.
He
He ended
I
up
wanna go sit
losing.
next to
He
them and
goes
talk
to a
about the
Texas
game. I
Rangers
wanna go
game,
see
which the
Sasquatch.
esports
I wanna go
stadium
watch the
is
Black Ops 2 tournament
like
behind me.
a block away from
Yeah.
Ranger
And again,
Stadium.
Live events in general.
He went to
Yeah,
a full
it's so
Rangers
cool.
game
FOMO.
and came
I
back,
miss
and we
the
were still going
MLG
through
sports feeling. If that, you
losers,
know, like that
brackets and
smaller, more
stuff.
intimate.
Dude, it was a. I can promise you, it was 1,000%
Fucking legend.
that feeling.
Yep.
I walked
I never
in
got to
and I
do
was
the
like,
MLG
this is-
stuff.
This is just
or
like
go to
MLG.
any of those,
This is
so-
like
Yeah,
MLG.
like Alec had called me because
It was,
like
he was
had,
an
like,
old-timer,
Arcs
man.
in Pass.
Yeah, I was supposed to get you in.
Mhm.
Like me
Yeah.
and Libby got in, and then I called you because you were also like very much.
Yeah, I
part of
was-
the tournament, part of the event,
That's
playing
funny.
pretty much the
I remember
exact
so
same
it was
or as-
JP
same
told me
as
that
of importance
when I got there,
role
I kind of
in
was
this
like carrying
tournament.
my
So I had to
guitar
call
on my
JP.
shoulder,
I
like
pulled him in, he got the crew
Guts with
pass.
that
Yeah,
big
I had
ass
my
sword from
crew hanging
Berserk.
up right there, actually.
He's like, hey, I know that
Yeah,
guitar.
my-
That had glasses
my
on.
wristband.
Like,
Yeah.
Scott, who's like a
Yeah,
big time. I was
no,
like, oh shit.
Yeah, I remember calling you up. and
Because I
then
remember
we
looking
just
around like, who said
getting
that?
it all set up was like really sick.
Yeah,
Ugh,
like
I thought that was
walking
funny.
in and just seeing the setup was like I really felt like a kid again. You know,
It was
Because,
wild,
like,
man. Because I was
again, just as
expecting
I said
kind of like
before,
a
we, you know,
smaller
we grew up with
kind
this
of
game, like,
convention
we,
look,
you know,
but
we
no,
still
like
hold this game
going
very
in there
dear,
with a full
and we'll never
fucking
let it die.
stage
just
and
the sight of
seeing
like,
everything.
and
even like
even just a
the
sense of
Guitar Hero
community
stuff was
because,
like small,
we
but
were able to so
like
easily
seeing the
when somebody else
Smash
needed to go
stages
do
and all
something,
that, it
whether
was
like,
ridiculous.
Go to the bathroom or go get
Yeah.
food or like
Everybody
just,
was on
you
top
know,
of
take a
stuff,
break
man.
Even
Yeah.
people filled in from the
Mhm.
community, and they all did a great job. you know.
Yeah, and
and
honestly,
like
I thought that was pretty sick. Like
that was like a highlight for me.
That was
I
very
had,
cool.
like zero problems with that because we were already just such in our own little.
When I
corner,
watched, I did watch
too.
back
Yeah.
the
We were
VOD
like
of the
by
tournament,
food stand.
and
Like,
Yeah, we were by the food
no one
stand.
was
I
gonna,
do
like,
have
hang
some
out.
feedback
that
on
was a
that.
huge puzzle. We were like next to the food stand, so like we can go
But,
get snacks and go get water, like
and,
really
like,
easily right there.
Every-
I'm looking at
like,
the
there was
monitor,
no
I'm
dead
looking at
air
the monitor, dude,
for
and
the
like,
most
like
part.
fucking slime is standing
like,
there, like
there was
watching,
always
you know,
somebody
like, that was,
jumping
like,
in, jumping out,
That was surreal.
keep things
to
on,
me,
because I think
it
they
was like,
the
wow,
stream
people
for the
still care,
tournament for
you
day
know?
one
Yeah.
I thought it was kind
was
of cool. They
live
talked about
for
Guitar on the yard when they
12 or
on their episode
13
that they did after
hours or
this
something?
whole thing.
I
They
think
were
that's
talking
right.
about
Really?
the
Yeah.
off-season. They was like, yeah.
It was ridiculous.
It was Nick and Slime, they both went to the thing. They casted the melee stuff.
Yeah,
I gotta watch.
I don't know
watched-
any of these
watched the
people.
Guitar Hero stuff.
Nick
That's pretty cool. I
Slime.
forget exactly what they said, but they mentioned it.
Yeah.
I thought it was neat. It's cool that
Yeah.
Guitar Hero is
Yeah.
just being mentioned by like.
But see, that's
the
cool,
weird
man.
crossing of worlds here.
Yeah,
For me,
like
it's
even
this-
the words being uttered. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
you know?
and like I got a raid from like Jack Manifold. Like
Yeah.
while-
I don't know who
saw
that
like,
is.
was
What the
going
hell?
on.
What the
I was
hell
like,
is that all
Does anybody know who
he's been
Jack
following me
Manifold
for
is?
a minute now, and then like I got the raid from
I'm
him
too-
while
I'm too
the
old.
stream was going on. While the
I don't know
stream
who
was
these
going on, I'm
crazy
like,
kids
this
are and
is
their names.
insane.
That's insane.
Yeah, and I know like Ludwig
crossover.
had also like
I know
loosely
that name.
mentioned me before. Like he knows I exist.
That's
Which
A
is
lot of
crazy.
people know you exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he knows that I exist, so he probably.
It's like, we're such a small community,
probably
it's just
saw some
like,
clips.
yeah.
I'm not gonna say if he did.
We
or
know
not,
who
but it's
everybody
very
is,
likely he-
but whenever
he
like
did.
some
I'll
a
ask him
name
to talk to
At
him.
least.
like can recognize somebody, we're like, what the
It's
fuck?
always the strangest
Which it makes
feeling
sense
when you
because the
know
site's been
somebody
everywhere,
has seen
right?
your clips.
Wait, that's
Yeah.
it. Gamers
When,
playing more
when
one type of game.
I got the comment from Metallica
Perplex? What?
on my Master Puppets video.
Did you?
Where-
really?
where-
Yeah.
That is fucking insane.
Okay.
Also
Also
I
plays
don't
Street
think
Fighter?
I'm still coming
It's-
down from
it's
that
a-
high. And that
Yeah.
was a long time ago
wouldn't.
now.
It's not
That
literal.
beats me. I mean, I've gotten comments from Steve Lamette on a couple
Yes.
of his
Minecraft
songs and guitars,
YouTuber,
like,
according to
that's the
Google.
guy.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
know that guy.
No,
That's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Really
That's
talented
very good
individual.
guy.
It's just
Yeah.
situational because when
Yeah,
it comes to
that's awesome.
competitive
It's so cool.
gaming,
Really
then-
talented.
it's not very often
like,
that, at least in my
For me,
experience,
I
that
just
you'll
do
see
mostly gameplay
people.
videos. I
It's like,
rarely show my face.
oh, you
and do
mean
all that,
Street
so
Fighter?
my stuff isn't very.
Oh, you
personality
also
driven,
mean
it's just kind of
BlazBlue
gameplay driven. So
and
if you ever
Tekken
see
and Dragon
video
Ball
essays about
Fighters.
Guitar Hero or like top
It's like that.
Watch Mojo,
That's
top
what I
10
get from it.
things. If they
Yeah.
ever talk about Guitar Hero, there's a 95% chance that my gameplay is being shown.
So in terms of
I
competitive,
recognize
yes.
that, but when I see it, it's like
The being perplexed
You know,
of
I
people
do that.
maining more than
I
one
do
game
that.
is.
Pretty sure
That's
I
mo-
used your
It's not
footage
too- it's
in
not
one of my
crazy.
video
Probably.
essays.
But like
Yeah,
a normal
it's- I
person being
use-
like,
I
"Hey,
use
you
your
play
flames
Mario
footage
Kart,
for, like, a
Street Fighter,
TikTok."
Guitar Hero, and dating sims."
Like it's just
Then yeah.
it's just weird how like the content goes around, and it's really
But yeah, what I was getting to
promising
is like when it comes to like
you know, the word
small
about the
community, we
game
know
just
everybody
stays
who is,
alive,
but when
and
like a big
then
name recognizes one, what the
still
fuck? But it
circulates
makes the
around
most
social
sense
media,
because
no matter how
Asai is
no matter,
very-
like how it happens, you know, I see World
it's
Tour
like him and
Definitive
Friff are the two most
Edition
recognized people in the
performance
community, I
mode
think.
gameplay with silly characters, you know,
yeah,
like
that became its own little
yeah,
meme.
And then Jason as well.
It's its own little thing on
Breaking
TikTok.
Bad,
and it
hidden
happens
ending.
all the time. Like I heard
Excuse
like
me.
Plankton singing Taylor Swift, and like that
Yes.
was a
Mm-hmm.
that's a viral TikTok and it pops up on Olivia's For You like all the time. I'm like, yeah, that's World Tour Definitive Edition.
Yep.
That's it. That's it right there.
A tweet
And those things are
yesterday
important,
after
man.
The Activision news broke of someone saying new Guitar Hero screenshot, and it was Master Chief on drums.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the memes write
Oh
themselves.
my god!
Exactly.
I remember when the first announcement of the Microsoft Activision acquisition happened, and like someone ported Clippy into World Tour Definitive and then like
Yes.
pinged Xbox and was like,
I
what do
didn't
you
see
think, what do you
that.
guys think of this? And like the Xbox social media
Yeah.
manager was like, sounds like a good idea, and they have no idea what the fucking ripple effect happened off of that because
Fucking
even that
Clippy,
getting
let's
a
go.
little bit of like little bit of recognition.
Yeah, being recognized
Like,
at all.
that-
Like,
that
If
set us
any
off, 'cause
brand
we're like,
recognizes
dude,
Guitar Hero, it's gonna
they're
pop
really,
off.
They're really replying to
Normal
a
ass
Guitar Hero
people-
tweet and
Yeah.
like saying
Want Guitar Hero
saying
back?
that stuff, and like it could be like an ingest like meme or
We
whatever.
want
but
Guitar
that's
Hero
still
back.
recognition.
Yeah.
That's
was
more
also-
recognition that Nintendo ever gives to Smash Melee.
yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There's also
I
another
think
tweet
they
around the same
they
time.
resent Melee.
Yeah, they probably do
Yeah,
the old one. They don't want you
do.
playing the old games. They want you
Yeah,
playing the new cool
play
games.
Ultimate.
And sell you new things.
Yeah.
But around the same time as that other, like the Clippy tweet you're talking about,
Yeah.
there was like another official Xbox tweet, unprompted. They did this on their own volition. It was just a Guitar Hero controller, and I forget the caption, but it was like, "What song you playing?" It was just like
Yeah.
Guitar Hero
Yeah,
1
that was
SG.
out of nowhere.
Out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
Mhm.
It's like, what do you mean by that? Are you
It's
trying
like,
to tell
what are you
something?
trying to say?
First of all, just they know what Clone Hero is, obviously. You know,
sure,
like they know.
Yeah.
They 100%.
Microsoft might not know what Clone Hero is,
39 million
but
views.
Activision
They
knows
They
what
can't,
Clone Hero
exactly,
is.
they can't not know. It's
They
like,
have
huh,
to know.
Yeah.
this game that suspiciously looks like Warriors of Rock, but it's not. What is this? You know?
Yeah, it ain't a secret.
I,
If
I
it's a secret, that's a
sincerely
problem.
believe-
Yeah.
I sincerely believe
Moose has a really
that
good point. If it's a
they
secret,
are
it's a
taking
fucking problem.
advantage of Clone Hero in the community,
Mm-hmm.
and the reason that they never went after it is because it's keeping Guitar Hero in people's minds.
3,000% yes.
Until it's literally doing the work for them
Yes.
by
Don't
word
pay
of mouth.
shit. They don't have to
Ain't
pay
got
for
no
anybody.
marketing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Best.
No
It's free marketing.
No hiring anybody.
Nope.
It's just
zero.
Look
I
at these-
sincerely believe
Look
that.
at these losers. Look at these fucking guys.
We got these guys to promote our game for free. Can you believe it? We're not paying them. We don't pay. We don't talk to these guys at all. They're doing it on their own. Can you
Yes.
believe that?
It's the old one friend
It's
tells
alive
two
because of
friends,
these
and
guys
then they tell
for
two
$0.
friends, and
Nothing.
those two friends
look
tell
at the
two
views that
friends,
hashtag
and then those
Guitar
four
Hero
friends
gets
tell
on,
two
like,
friends,
Instagram
and
Reels
so
like,
on,
TikTok
and
stuff,
so
they're
on,
like,
and so on.
Idiots.
That's the best part, kind of marketing you could get, and it's been that way since forever.
Let's make another rapper skin for Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Friends and family.
Yeah, buy our
Marketing.
21 Savage skin.
$30.
Nicki
Which,
Minaj.
like that shit. That shit's awesome. I don't
Yeah.
care what anybody
It is
says.
cool.
That shit is hilarious. But
Have you seen the
I
skin,
don't-
actually?
I have.
The 21
I've
Savage
seen it
skin?
in game, the 21 Savage skin.
He's just
where
wearing like
he's
pants,
shirtless.
and that's it. Just shirtless, just
He's
wearing some
wearing
regular
pants.
ass black jeans. It's like low effort, but it's kind of cool that he's in the game in
Yeah.
the first place. But
Yeah. The Nicki Minaj skin is like my favorite. That shit is awesome.
Why?
It's like
Why?
the fucking blueprint is like this cracked out
Right, buddy.
shotgun you crank. Shut
Sure.
the fuck up, bro.
I've seen the skin too, man.
You know what? You ask J Prez, he'll have a lot more to say, bro.
Maybe I will.
This is all wild to me. I'm like Nicki Minaj skin. What am I
Yeah, I have no
Mm-hmm.
idea.
Google Doc.
It's like, I'm where Jason's at. I'm like, what the
It's
fuck are you
insane.
Oh,
talking
you got
about?
Googled.
So, and that's another thing. Like people were talking about, I want to see more musicians in the game, in the new game, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that's
Nope.
not happening.
Nope.
Nope.
That-
No way.
Not anymore.
Not in Call of
Not
Duty.
anymore.
Two
Not
people.
after Band
Maybe.
Hero.
Hold on. I
Two
got an
people.
idea. Part of this whole
Sinister Gates.
the newest one with Bobby Kotick
And,
talking about Guitar Hero.
Tim Henson.
The
Yes.
previous few paragraphs before he mentions Guitar Hero by name, he's talking about different sorts of technologies that Microsoft has, Neuralink and AI and VR. AI.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
What if
None of those technologies
okay, yeah,
Microsoft
keep going.
is
Stick with me
is
here.
working
What
towards,
if
except for maybe
they
AI with Bing.
generate real people, real artists, and they make the entire real band fully AI made. They're real animated characters made by AI, so they play their own songs, only their songs. So if No Doubt's in the game, they'll have AI generated models of No Doubt playing their songs, or Metallica
That
playing their songs.
that was
or
my
Avenged
idea
Sevenfold
for
playing
like
their songs.
VR
Whatever.
experiences. I don't know if that would translate
that's
well
crazy.
to Guitar
I
Hero.
instantly think back to the models that were used in the old games and the artists getting mad when like Kurt Cobain was singing.
Kurt
like,
Cobain.
But he won't be
And-
singing that. He'll be
And
playing
it
only
ended
his
up in
own
a
songs.
lawsuit.
Uh-huh.
They'll be playing only their
You
own
know what?
songs.
I would bet
Yeah,
money
they did not.
that the No
Okay,
Doubt
so
and
that's where like
Kurt Cobain estate
shout out to Taylor Swift.
lawsuits
That's where they got her.
with Activision because of the
whoever did her
uses of their
yeah,
likenesses in the
she's a
games
pop
and
star.
all
Todd
that.
almost pop.
I would
She's
almost
kinda
bet
popular.
that's
I'll
one
look
of
her
the
up later.
reasons
Yeah.
that
She fucking like whoever did her
One of the
contract
reasons
for her
that,
likeness in Band Hero did it 100% right because
because what was it? It was
her model
5.
is the only one it
That
is
lawsuit
locked
happened
to
October- oh, wait,
sing
no, that
her
doesn't-
songs. You can't make her
That doesn't mess
sing
up. Never
any
mind.
other
I take
song
it
in the
back.
game.
For real?
You can
I
make
didn't
her
know
you can make
I
her
thought you could-
like play other songs, but
thought
she
you
will
could-
never mouth the words to another track.
Really?
That's not by
know that.
Taylor
I never
Swift.
noticed that.
Yeah, no. So if you try and Band
Smart as
Hero
hell.
right now, you can.
Whoever
only
handled her
see
contract for
mouthing
that was,
words to the 4 songs that she has. In
I hope they
Guitar
got a
Hero.
raise.
That's wild. Man, she's
Yeah.
a ruthless businesswoman.
Or whoever was
Clearly.
managing her at the time.
Yeah, they know
was,
their shit.
was very ruthless. But
Well, they probably,
It's
they
not
probably
ruthless.
made it clear. They were like,
Just
look,
protecting your business.
don't
That's
want
all.
her mouthing the words to All Nightmare Long. Like
Yeah.
they don't
Yeah.
want her.
They
doing
cross
Or they're
that
probably like, so
line
the artist
into the
literally
crypt.
has to be Taylor Swift if she is
Torpedo
moving
to
her
my
mouth to,
apocalypse.
or if it's
Just
only
T Swift
to
go
Taylor
nuts.
Swift's mocap sessions is those are the ones that she's able to sing You know,
See,
in
I
the
like
game.
that. See,
and so
that's something I would like
dealt
for a
with
new one
Adam
is do
Levine's
it like
likeness
like Brett
Odell's
Michaels
likeness,
in Guitar
they
Hero
didn't
3,
think
where
about
only
it.
Didn't
he
make that
shows
clear.
up whenever
They
you
didn't
play
make that
"Talk Dirty to
clear.
Me" or
They
the
didn't
Obviously, that was a
bonus song.
problem to note
Yeah,
that
and there's
at
a big
least.
problem because
Yes.
they got the shit suit, like Activision
Yeah.
got the shit suit out of them. Neversoft got the shit, like absolutely.
And
They
you know
got
that's another
fucked
thing
up.
too, is that like not only that, but like they had legal trouble over like Gibson too, right?
Yep.
See,
Gibson
that one I'm
got-
unfamiliar
Yeah,
with.
and so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like
Some-
Yep.
Guitar Hero.
So that one
kinda
I'm not
got
familiar
the
with.
shit beat out of it at some points, you know.
I'm
And that's
curious about
another
what
reason
happened
why,
with
like,
Gibson.
You know, I can see why they would look back and be like, "Man, do we really want to do this again?" Because it's like there's so much trouble associated with doing it right in a way.
Mm.
I mean,
you
it's,
know?
it's a licensing nightmare.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I mean,
We talked about
Luke and I
that-
were told that like
Well, I think me and
songs
Luke
were,
did.
like, what, a minimum of like 15K. to
Whenever I was
license
playing
per?
Cyberpunk and kind
there
of just
was-
went
there
off
was
for
two
like an
different
hour
sets of
talking about licensing and stuff.
There was $7,500 a piece. I forget
Here, hold
exactly
on.
what he said.
So this is when they're talking about the licensing costs that I've mentioned before. So listen here.
Again, because it's like there's so much trouble associated with doing it right in a way.
I mean,
you
it's,
know?
it's a licensing nightmare.
Yes, it is. I mean, Moose and I were told that like I think songs were like what, a minimum of like 15K to license per.
Yeah, there was two different sets of licensing. One was $7,500 a piece. I forget exactly what he said. There was one like just to use the songs, and one was just for stems, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I got
I'm
those
so
numbers
happy
wrong.
that we're circling around to this because going back into AI.
Mhm.
Ooh,
STEM,
stems.
AI,
Here's where Sim said
AI
Gibson on it, one that does it.
separation. AI
Really
STEM
interesting.
separation is magic.
Now that is probably the
And
most likely
AI
use of
STEM
of
separation,
AI
yes,
Bobby's talking about.
D-Bucks.
It's gonna be way
Yeah,
cheap.
Yeah.
and so
I don't know if that's the
Bobby
same, but that's
probably
like-
that's
money.
the word I
yeah,
associate.
And, you know,
Yep.
rock this.
Mhm.
They do DIY stems, and
Rock
who
Band
knows
4,
if they
yeah.
use AI models or whatever. It's very clearly
Interesting.
done by hand. Those are some like 80% of the Rock Band 4 DLC that comes out is DIY stems. Like if you listen
Yeah.
to the like one of the newest like DLC tracks, "You're the Best" from Karate Kid. If you like
DIY.
miss in the song, it sounds a little like muddy or watered
Right.
down a little bit, and that's how you could tell that it's not genuine stems. Now
Yeah.
if you play like old Rock Band 2 stuff where they had unlimited money, they had
That
they had,
MTV
they
money,
had
son.
MTV money, Viacom money
Right.
to just license out all of these songs,
All
and,
of
like,
them.
you can hear like real stems, and you can hear the clarity difference between
Yeah, like when you miss, you miss.
when you miss, it's like it's
Completely
actually
dead
super
silent for your
clean.
instrument.
Yeah.
But
Those, those AI split,
and some of the newer
demucks
DLC, you can tell that they did
are
it themselves.
fucking incredible.
And I'm not going to say that they use
Especially,
AI, but it's very
I've-
likely
I've-
that they did.
Yeah.
Messed around with
Very
them.
likely.
Even
And,
to aid
um,
the process, but I could see Activision
It's
investing
using a
a lot more
the
money
website
in
that I do
doing it really,
or have
really well,
used
personally.
is
Yeah.
And
So
let's be
because-
honest,
puts
yeah,
out
if
some
it's not
really good
perfect,
quality
it's
stuff.
not a big deal. To
Exactly. Doesn't have to be
99.9%
perfect.
of people, it'll be the people
We
They'll
just
never
need shit
notice.
that
Are these
works.
AI stems? Are these real stems? I'm gonna miss a note on purpose. That's
we,
AI.
we
Yeah.
definitely have like a hyper
Those people are a little bit weird.
side of the like subset, I would say.
Yeah.
You know.
They kind of did it in GH
Like,
Live.
knowing
They
that,
kinda, like, amplified
Like
just the
Rock Band
guitar
4 does
itself.
DIY stems,
You know,
and
I
they
don't
criticize it
remember
whenever
if,
it's a little bit not perfect.
When we
Like,
played GHTV, if we whammied in the song, it would kind of whammy the whole song itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Really?
if we missed in GHTV, then it would kind of go to like this like kind of low quality mono version of the song, kind of, and it was like
It sounded
kind of
muddled,
like we
yeah.
did missed on guitar. But this is like 2015, and so DIY stems were just becoming a thing.
right.
And like
Yeah.
the technology didn't progress yet.
See, I didn't
and
know about
it didn't sound great. It was
DIY
kind of
stems
equivalent to,
until
like, how we
Clone
did
Hero,
2
so
guitar tracks
in the past year.
in GHTCP for GH3
Oh my
PC, and then we would like whammy the song, and then like we would miss, and the song would like get a little bit quieter, but like we missed in the song, but it like got a bit quieter. So it was kind of
my-
like that, but like they had their own sort of system for GHTV. But that's like kind of how it was, and I'm sure that they were thinking about, oh, how are we going to license all these songs and get just the guitar track? Because one of the big things about playing Guitar Hero is like when you play, you miss and the song goes silent,
Right.
or the guitar track goes silent. It makes you feel like you're
Yeah.
really fucking up the song.
Correct,
or
Amundo.
something. And so like that over time, that's something that a lot of
I
people
mean,
forgot
nowadays
about.
with how
And now it's just reemerging.
debugs and
because
things
AI
are,
technology
how
is
well
able
they
to
can break
separate
things apart.
stems,
If you
very,
take
very
that
well
that model
perfect,
of
but
using
very well.
AI
Not perfect,
to
but very
separate stems
very
and
well.
mix that with
And I
a
think that
audio
actually- that
engineer who
actually
knows
might
what they're
be,
doing.
Something that artists
And
or
yeah.
licensing, whoever
You can probably get
owns
some good
the,
stuff.
the license to these artists' musics, that could be like a positive to them. That it's not
Or
perfect.
shit, hire
Because,
hire
you
some
know,
people from the community.
all of the old
There's-
guitar
like,
dropping
there's
games have
people
perfect
who are-
stems actually real stems.
who
So
take
if you
those
ever come
DIY
across,
stems
like,
and fucking
new
fix them up, make them
videos or,
better.
like X shreds
That
where they
Harmonix
have,
puts
like,
out or whoever's doing
you know,
the
they're
DLC,
memeing on a song or
right?
whatever. A lot of times it's a song that was in Guitar Hero Rock Band because
Yes.
they have
Uh-huh.
easy
People
access
don't
to
realize
those
that.
stems.
Yep.
One of the best,
Like-
one of the best examples of that is Neil Cicerega, Mouth Sound.
Yes, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He uses so
It's
many,
all
so
from
many
Guitar
stems,
Hero Rock Band.
all from
Yeah,
Guitar
because the
Hero
stems are
and
just
Rock
right
Band.
there.
Mm-hmm.
They just exist on the internet because
Which
like, preservation.
also put Harmonix in a lot of trouble with artists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
I see.
Beatles, the Beatles Rock Band had a different sort of like decryption method for
Yes.
their stems.
Very
And
different.
Like, this is
I think
wild
they
to
were
learn
locked down
about.
for a long time, but somebody finally cracked them. So like it was very, very, very clear that whoever was licensing the Beatles music, I think it was Apple Corp or whatever, they did not want those stems getting out there. Like, that was a big deal to them. So
I just can't believe that they agreed to having the stems. Like that's fucking.
Yeah, it's kind of fucking
insane.
wild to
They
me.
were
The
high
stems to
quality,
Beatles.
too.
yeah,
They were
Very
very
high
quality.
quality. And eventually the code
Like,
got cracked. In,
yeah.
in the most insane way possible.
It wasn't until later I realized
Like,
how big of a
don't
deal
know
that
if
was. So I was
if
like,
you heard about like how the decryption process works, because like I,
This is
I
a fun
try
little
and
story.
follow as much like harmonics hacking as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way that it got, like this guy got it to work. Rest in peace. This
Yeah,
is
Maxton.
Maxton. He
Yeah,
figured
rest
it
in
out.
peace.
And so he modified the game to feed him back a decrypted version of the song in an emulator because of the way the emulator read the song file in a specific state. It fed him the whole track, and then he was
Jesus.
able to just rip the songs from the game.
Wow.
Yeah,
Magic.
Maxton was
Wizard.
He was a
It-
genius.
it was
he was a
yeah,
genius.
it was like
You're a wizard,
okay,
Harry.
No, what I remember is that it would only play decrypted versions of the song in the menu, and so he told the game, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
point to this file," and then the game was just like, "Okay, it's decrypted."
all right.
And so it fed it back to him.
It's
in
like,
a
give me
decrypted-
the song. No.
It's
insane.
But
absolutely
like,
nuts.
what if we get it from over there?
Absolutely nuts. And so he
Okay.
just like found this loophole, and that's how they're able to get the Beatles stems.
It's
And also,
bananas.
Beatles weren't like the only ones that were like very precious about their stems. Like all artists
Mm-hmm.
are, but one of the biggest ones was Metallica. All their
Yeah.
stems get
Yeah.
out too.
Metallica's, I mean, the big things that I think of from Metallica is the fact that the DLC for one of their albums is legitimately mastered better than the actual
Yeah.
album.
Yeah.
I mean, knew
That's
that
kind of
too.
bananas.
It was the premier way to listen to Death
Fucking
Magnetic
Rick
at the time.
Rubin, dude.
Yeah.
They fucked it
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Fucking Rick
Yeah.
Rubin.
Fucking Rick
All
Rubin.
Nightmare Long
Fucking
album. Was it Death
Yeah, All
Magnetic?
Nightmare
It was
Long.
Death
Yeah,
Magnetic.
Death
Yeah,
Magnetic.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep, I had it back in the day too.
Yeah, and
It
so
did sound
like,
worse.
yeah, and so going back to like,
I
you know,
had it
record
too, but I
labels
don't
being
remember it sounding
happy,
worse.
Like they would probably be happy that the DIY stems aren't perfect.
But I definitely listened to
You know,
it
like,
more
you could
playing
isolate the
Guitar Hero 3
track.
than the
It's
actual
still,
CD.
It's still mixed the exact same way that the
Yeah.
artist intended to, or the
Yeah.
producer intended to. So it's not like they're decreasing the quality like right away. The only time you're decreasing the quality of a song is if you put it over fucking like some anime song. Or, yeah, like the TikToks I'm talking about. You know, it's just people-
I cleared
it's like
my
having Thomas
eyes.
the Tank Engine and Biggie Smalls. Like,
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's something like that, and like, you know, oftentimes like an artist will respond to it and they have a funny reaction, or they don't respond at all, which is probably for the best.
That's probably
Because they
yeah.
don't want that bad PR. They don't want to be seen, unless like something.
It's definitely
snaps in them to just start
the
going
example
off the
of
rails
if you
and
don't
just,
have
like,
anything nice to say,
denouncing,
then shut the fuck up.
people's.
You know what I mean?
People wanting to just make this funny.
It's
piece
like
of
what's
art
gonna
or whatever,
do
then
more
most of the
damage?
time
Saying something
just don't respond and
negative,
I've seen
or
like,
just letting it
artists
ride.
respond
More
to,
times than not on TikTok and stuff like that.
Funny
letting it
mashups and
ride.
stuff, and I think that's cool.
We'll
But,
do more for you than
nonetheless, I think like
trying
the
to do
AI
something about it.
stem separation stuff is something that they
It's-
would.
it's like a Hydra,
absolutely
you cut off
do
one head,
in
3 more
this new
spawn.
Guitar Hero game, and it also saves them a fuck ton of money
Mm-hmm.
on licensing, I'm sure. But I'm not sure how much like if there's gonna be, because there's a writer strike. I don't know if that's still going on
Yes.
right now.
I think the
don't-
writers are done, but the actors are still striking.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
actors are
So like,
striking.
I don't know if that's gonna happen with like the music industry because
Yeah.
Very well could.
It
I
very
mean,
well
are-
could,
are
because
people-
there's
I guess
also,
there's some
AI
people-
voices,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that type of thing. That's a whole different.
Oh,
can of
yeah, and,
worms.
That's like a big rabbit hole.
That's a big,
New
big
Guitar Hero,
something's
fully
been
AI-generated songs.
revealed since this has
Entirely
been
brand new
recorded.
You
Original
want
content.
Kanye
That,
to sing? You want
UMG
Drake to
is-
sing? You want
Another-
Kendrick to sing?
And other
You
record
want-
labels
you
are
know, you
working
want Kurt
to
Cobain?
with artists
That's like, you know,
to lock
sounds like
down
Fuser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
rights
Oh, Fuser. Oh man.
to use artist voices and
Poor-
AI.
Poor Fuser, man.
like
So that will
Fuser-
be
Poor
Fuser
Fuser.
wanted to try
Interesting.
and take all that DIY stuff and take it to the next level.
And Fuser
Mhm.
was
And
so good. Like we played to the PAX, you know, like it
Yeah.
was.
Fuser,
it was
And,
yeah.
and, a
good.
lot, and they did a lot of, you know, the DIY
The
stem
world has a
separating
attention span of
stuff
around
on
2 weeks
most
at
of the
most,
songs.
right?
Sometimes
2
it
weeks to be forgotten.
like you could tell.
Exactly.
when
I
it
would
was
argue
super
it's
clean,
less than a
and
week.
You could tell when the stems
Nowadays,
were, like,
anyway.
super watery.
Definitely
and
used to be
bad.
2 weeks.
Like,
But I swear,
I know,
when
like,
it
they
comes
probably
to
definitely had the stems
what I'm
to,
paying
like,
attention to.
All-Star by Smash Mouth and Don't Fear the
After a
Reaper
couple days,
by,
most things just
Blue
move
Oyster
on.
Cult. But
And
then
DIY the ones that they
and then
couldn't.
Like,
they
it takes a
DIY'd,
world
there's,
aff-
like some
world aff-
like some of the hip
affecting
hop tracks were
event
DIY'd and it just sounded
for it to stay
terrible. It sounded so
in the
bad. And like,
in the news cycle
You know,
for
if-
longer than a week.
and that's a thing too. It might be a negative thing of them using stems, but at least for Guitar Hero, we're not mixing a game. We're not making
Yeah.
remixes or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I would say?
Notes
I'd
to a
argue,
track.
like, if
Yeah,
you
much simpler.
if you do want to go
Very much
the older
simpler,
route,
yeah.
Hey,
We're
but
not-
bring
we're
back
not-
GH tunes.
Yeah.
yes,
that's another
bring
thing,
back
too.
GH
It's like,
tunes.
if,
That's how
know,
you appeal to the
people
Clone Hero
really liked
kids.
GH tunes.
Yeah,
That's how you do
was
it.
Great.
It was a great time.
Also, I do have
And,
a
I remember sitting in GH tunes.
I
and,
do
like,
have
making my
a,
own tracks.
a
They-
thought
and they
that,
always sounded like trash. They were
use
always
GH
terrible.
tunes
They
as a
wanted to
method
practice
to
patterns.
involve
And,
the
like,
community
that's
in their
how we did it
project.
back
So
then.
something like a
You
Solus.
download like
Don't make
fucking
that paid DLC.
stuff, Sean Superstar
Right?
stuff, Mr. Greg Murphy
Like,
stuff.
don't
like,
do
those
that.
were like the
But,
names that I remember. You know,
have
like,
agreements
Frontline,
and
Yeah,
special
oh my God, Sean
Tense
Superstar,
connections
dude.
with people
Sean
like an
Superstar,
Exile
yeah,
Lord.
Prez had
or-
some too.
He did.
I
There
guess
was,
is there another one's
what was his
Arch.
name? Mike One SH.
Arch?
You remember? him?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, he had
you know,
some
cats like
Veins
that
at the end of
who
Veins,
create the
dude.
really intense, super
Yeah,
like
There's
high
just
tier
some, like, really
songs.
complicated stuff.
Work out an
that
agreement
people were putting out
to,
in there, and it's just kind of the
um,
modern equivalent. You know,
Make them like
overturns
an
and stuff in
official
Clone Hero
GH
and
Tunes
yada,
artist.
yada,
And
yada.
like Glitter started out too, which
it
is
kind of
like
falls in that
totally
idea of a
taken away
rock
from its
band
own.
network.
Like,
And
I
through
I
GH
just wanna hand
Tunes
it to, like, people who
allow
do
like
Glitter
that's
charts
where
because, like,
you can
I
get
tried,
an
I
official
can't. Like, I'm
upload
so
of
tainted
Solus
by
1,
making
Solus
regular
2,
charts,
Solus
you know?
3,
Yeah.
It's
Solus
hard
4,
to
Solus
make a chart
5
like that fun.
in collaboration
Yeah, like,
with
I wish I
Exile
could, like, sit
Lord
down chart.
and Guitar
I
Hero.
don't know
right?
how to do that.
I don't-
You
I
know,
don't have
that's
time
like-
to
Green Day
chart
song?
anymore.
Ooh.
That's one thing
Also, what's
where
up,
I have
Halo?
a vision and I can't exactly replicate it.
Yep.
Yeah, me
You
too.
know,
I
and,
never
like,
be able to do it.
making videos and stuff. That's a vision that I'm able to like bring to
Yes.
life at least.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like streams, I'm able
I'm
to
talking
bring
about charting
most of
right
my
now.
visions to life. But like making a track, there's just so
Yeah.
many things that go into it.
I think
And that's
GH
why I
Tunes
hope,
could, that
like,
could be a really good
you know,
avenue.
They have tools that they can outsource to the community, and you know, to be able to have other people chart the songs that are licensing. Because like who knows?
Highly
Maybe
disagree on
the
that.
official stuff is going to be trash in the beginning. You know, like maybe
It
it's
very
gonna
well
be-
might.
It very well might because
Well,
it's not the same charters that are.
Yeah,
like,
it's
you
not
know,
the same
one from
people.
15 years ago.
Neversoft doesn't exist anymore. They're
And
gone.
That
this
is right.
Like,
They got
this is a
folded
long
into
time.
Infinity Ward.
This is
Yeah.
a long time after. I mean, like seriously, like it's,
See,
you
that's
know,
where it would help to have
But there
experienced
is a
people.
Microsoft Studio
Oh,
that
wait.
does just happen to have a lot of X Harmonix employees at it.
really.
Mm.
What are you referring to?
I've got quite a few old X Harmonix friends who are at a company that just got acquired, and they're all like,
Ooh.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Just dropping bombs.
I'm just
So
saying.
Microsoft has
Fortnite
recently
2.
acquired
He's been
a
waiting.
game company
he's been
that
waiting.
is comprised of a lot of X
I'm
Harmonix
assuming
employees.
this should
But that-
stay hushed.
Hmm.
Which studio it may or may not be.
Let them
Yeah.
come out.
Yeah.
Let them come out and say
let
it, right?
let that be a thing first.
But see, it's like,
Drop
that's,
some
that's
heat.
exciting though.
Yeah, it's an
That's
exciting
really
thought.
exciting.
People
I'm
with
just pointing out
experience.
that there are people that have experience in the company. It's a matter of whether
know,
or
I
not
do
they
have
use
a-
it. Who the hell?
Yeah,
Right,
because
right.
I do have
the people who
a
were thrown on the
take
Guitar
or
Hero
whatever.
Live, how much experience did they have?
I think it'd be
With
really
DJ
cool
Hero?
as if they
They were DJ Hero. Yeah.
yeah,
they're
freestyle.
So-
here, and so like they did have like a sense of like understanding
Whatever
their
the team is
vision,
that makes
their
a new
scale
Guitar
of
Hero, just call them Red
expertise and
Octane.
the rhythm gaming, you know, and the rhythm gaming atmosphere, and
Have
how
that
to
name be
chart
used for the production of the
their
guitars
mechanics.
and
Yeah.
the game.
So like, because they had DJ Hero, it was the three buttons
Synergy.
and the scratching. That was brand new.
Completely
There's
different.
nobody that did
Very
nobody
correct.
that did that before.
DJ
Nobody
Hero
did that.
won
and so like
all
they
that
had
in
to
a
set
bag of
their own
chips.
standards, and I think that's why they did the six.
Oh, it's 3
fret,
buttons,
the
it's
three
2
on top,
E's.
3 on
Fuck you.
bottom. And
a lot of
You're
overlap.
wrong.
there's a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
overlap, and so and like honestly, the best way to, you know, have, well, I'm trying to think here the right way to say this. The best people to just put down the vision of like how a song is meant to be played on X controller is the people who fucking create it.
Yes, exactly.
The people who created it, and like their
Yes.
standard was set by themselves. And so when it came to Guitar Hero, it went from Red Octane and Harmonix
Right.
into Red Octane and Neversoft. And so I'm
Right.
sure Red Octane had to, you know, just say a couple of things and be like, yeah, if you take a look at these charts, you know, you can do this, and that. But they're probably like, obviously, feel free to amp it up a bit. This is the third
Right.
game.
And they did
you-
amp
and
it up
you-
already.
And they
And you've
amped it
talked
up
to-
already.
Also, it
You
goes
talked
to
Chris
it
Vance.
goes
Yeah,
to make
so,
a
like,
very
you
good
know
point.
already. You got
that
to know a lot of
the
stuff
most
that was
successful
never
rhythm
public knowledge
game
before.
of all time
Yeah, and for the people who didn't catch that,
is the game that
podcast,
cranked up
he
the charting
was talking about
to
essentially
11.
in 7 months they pumped out 70 songs.
Which is
Did
insane.
you hear that? Hold
Which
on.
is- that's
Because
how
you-
many-
Let me rewind that. Listen to what he just said.
didn't catch that that podcast. He was talking about essentially in 7 months they pumped out 70 songs,
For
Which
Guitar
is
Hero
insane.
3.
which is that's
Because
how
you
many
have to- you have
songs-
to
that's
keep
how
in
many
mind,
songs
like,
in
this is,
G3,
like-
right. There's 70 tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More or
And
less.
this is with like full difficulty as well, because you know in the custom community, like full difficulty, it's a fucking chore. Like just straight up, it's a chore. I
should
wish
be
it
the
wasn't,
bare
because I would do
minimum.
it all the time. If I
AI
had time
generated
anymore.
lower difficulties.
I've been begging for this for like 2 years. You know, but
That should
I
be
get it.
but yes,
the bare
they
minimum.
had
It's
a lot
too
more
hard,
work on their
tough
plate
shit.
because they also had to have a
And that's
department to
another
mix the
thing
audio.
about,
They had to
sorry,
have a
they should
department to do
allow
QA work and everything.
chart or community tools that
One of
you know
the
the
things
community
that
can make
Moose and I
charts.
discovered is that, for example,
They're not going to pay you to make charts.
The famous
If you're not
Thunderbolt
doing full
in
difficulty
Raining Blood
now,
Smash Hits
why
was
would
a
they-
huge point? A huge point.
Why
of
would they
contention.
make those tools
The higher-ups
available
did not like it.
for people to
But
do
There was one person who was
When they're
who was,
already
like,
not doing
taking
it on their
to his
own.
grave defending it.
Hey, what's up, man?
And so it ended up
And it
making
stayed
it
in the
through.
game.
How's your day
because it was
going?
cool.
And
I
it
thought,
stayed in the
I thought
game.
it was neat. But the people up higher up at Activision, Neversoft, all those people, were like, we think that this degrades the quality of our game, and we don't want it in the game. It feels this is like jumping the shark.
Hold on, what did you just say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Listen to Moose. Listen to what he just said.
The famous Thunderbolt in Raining Blood and Smash Hits was a
5-note
huge
chord.
point, a huge point of contention. The higher ups did not like it, but
The 5-note
one
chord at the end
person
of Smash Hits.
who was like taking it to his grave defending it, and
Beanox.
so it ended up
And it
making
stayed
it
in the
through.
game because it was cool.
And
I
it
thought
stayed in the
I thought
game.
it was neat. But the people up higher up at Activision, Neversoft, all those people were like, we think that this degrades the quality of our game, and we don't want it in the game. It feels this is like jumping the shark.
And now
Yeah.
Beanox is getting shit on by the Call of Duty community. So Karma's a bitch.
Yeah, the one with the star power note on his last one. I bet the motherfucker who was taking it to his grave like, it needs to be the 5-note with the
development of
lightning.
these games and everything.
It's the
and, like,
same
you have,
motherfucker who was
I had asked
shitting
about,
on people who's
you know,
telling
I
them,
brought up the
like, hey,
World
your
Tour Beta
DLC
Box story. I
charts
was like,
are
and I
not
just
great.
asked him, like,
Like,
two
what's happening?
QA, and one of them was Moose. He was,
Although
he
I
became
will say
supervisor,
the
right?
addition
Eventually.
of
Product
using
manager.
So I had asked them,
using,
like, what was it like to
tap
know that,
notes
like,
and
hey,
putting piano in
the
there for certain
instruments
things?
aren't working, and they were like,
That's fine.
we would get
Look, get
pallets
over
upon pallets delivered to our offices, and they'd be like, hey, you need to test like all of these, like hundreds
What?
of instruments.
I don't think
do you
so.
even,
No.
like, run
As
that
hey buddy, how am I
through?
today? I'm
Like,
good.
I
I'm
guess
tired.
they- I guess
Back
they
South
made,
Texas.
like, a
Oh,
checklist
nice.
or something
Only
at
4
that point,
days
but
of
even
your
then,
life. I bet, man.
I
You
mean,
bet
like,
you've been
I work
driving
on these
your
things
ass
every day,
off.
and like I run into
I'm
new
glad you're
shit, like,
feeling
every
good,
week,
man.
You know what? Like, and it's
Are
like,
you able to relax? That's what I'm
I think
thinking
I
of.
remember seeing like a picture of the I don't know, I think it was in like China, and it was like a picture of a guy
And that
testing out
5-note
Rock
chord,
Band
the
drums.
whole point
I know what
of
you're talking
that.
about.
Yeah. They posted on a
There's
blog
another thing
post, and they're
where,
like, this is the QA
if they
testing
do
in
give
one of our
community
manufacturers
charting
in
tools,
China or something like that. And it was like a really scuffed
they're
version
gonna have
of
a
Rock Band,
very,
one with, like,
very,
4 songs
very hard
and, like, a black
of
background,
do's and
but
don'ts.
they
And,
like, were able to test the drums right away to make sure that every piece was working.
I
And
don't-
they're like drum
for
prominent songs. I think it was like
like,
Through the Reaper.
Charters
and,
don't
like,
really
Damn
have a rule set
California,
that they
and, like,
have to
Paranoid.
fall within.
And,
like you can't do
One More
this, you can
Track
only
or
do
something
that,
like
this, that, and the other thing.
But like, it was just like a basic set list of
It
songs
might
that they
get
would,
people to chart
test out
stuff
the Rock Band 1 drums
for
on.
Guitar
We all
Hero
know
or
Rock
whatever,
Band 1 drums
but they're
string
gonna bitch about
so
it consistently.
So like the QA testing,
And,
kinda did
I'd
its
rather
job.
not
Hey,
even
listen,
just have that be a
Doc
thing.
Mod, Penny Mod, you're all good.
Rock
Yeah,
Mod,
Penny Mod.
all good,
Fuck.
man. Yeah, no.
I
and
had
so
I'm
the
sure,
like, you like
undershirt
the Rock
mod
Band 2 sets
for my
were just
Rock
much
Band
better.
2
The Rock Band
drums.
2
They were great.
or
Those
the
sets, I
the
still
old
have one,
cymbals,
and it's
they would
really
overhit.
good.
So I took some like
Rock Band 2
some
set
white
was fantastic.
tank top
Yeah, but
undershirts.
as far as like guitars go,
And I
mean,
tore them up
there are
and I
just,
placed
like, a
them
lot of
over the
points of
drum and let it
failure.
hang down a little bit, so it killed the
But,
reverb,
like,
and
they
it worked.
fixed the neck with the World Tour guitar, but that
did.
strum bar was not great.
Yeah.
That strum
Because
bar was
they-
like, not
they-
great.
Because
And then-
I think what basically happened is that they raised cost in one way, and as a result had to lower cost in a different way. You know?
And also, people were probably complaining like the strum bar is too loud. I can't play
Fuck
in my
you.
grandma's
Yeah,
house.
true.
I mean, look,
Fuck you.
man, it's not meant to be quiet. I don't know what
Yeah.
to tell
Not meant to
people
be,
anymore.
not
You
meant
know?
to
We like
what about
clickies.
Rock Band strats, they're silent.
Yeah, and that strum bar fucking
buddy.
sucks. What's your
Yeah,
point?
what about the buttons?
They're too loud. Those
ridiculous.
buttons are so loud.
Aiden's fucking reeling right now.
I will say the
That's
Rock
one
Band
thing
guitar
that I
is a
didn't
great
understand.
stealth,
I was like, those
great
are the
stealth guitar.
loudest buttons ever, but they fixed the. I remember feeling a Rock Band guitar, and they're like, "Wow, they silenced the strum bar. They really did it." And then I felt the frets, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah." And I was
You know,
like,
I'll say
that
this,
is
I
that
do
is
like the
just
way-
weirdest backwards.
I like the way the Rock Band frets
Wave
feel,
logic.
especially the
Never-
Rock
never
Band
liked
4
them.
strat.
But I guess
I
like the way they feel,
I guess
man.
that leads into like.
It's like a
I mean, we
soft,
gotta talk about
a
like
soft click.
new
you know?
instruments. You know,
Yeah.
like
New
What are they gonna do
instruments.
with
Yeah,
the
new
hardware?
instruments.
Sure.
What's gonna
Lay it on me.
happen, you know,
Let me hear what you gotta say.
It could,
I
go,
mean,
it could go so many different ways.
If there's
Uh-huh.
anybody to speak on like theories and stuff, JP, it's you.
Mm-hmm.
Like when
I-
it comes
I
to
In terms
guess.
of how they're built,
I just
sure.
want to hear your thoughts about.
I'm
it
very
first.
curious because I forgot what he said.
My thoughts realistically are like
Hmm.
I think that I think that the idea of like the whole detachable neck and being able to change faceplates was a really cool idea. First of all,
Don't need faceplates
and,
anymore.
you know, if they make an era guitar, it wouldn't realistically have to be that much different from the what they already made in the past. But you know, strum switches, for example, like they don't make Alp switches anymore.
I used to use the click- I use
they
the click
used
as
to
a timer.
be in Guitar
Yes!
Hero guitars. They just
Long
that-
strings,
that
I
manufacturer
use the
doesn't
same
exist
thing.
anymore. Anything
Look
is
at-
clones from China.
Yeah, so look at us. Look at us.
Which,
right?
in all fairness, they might have been getting the whole time anyway. You know, because
So I think he said that the
for those who don't know how manufacturing works,
the
like,
switches for the GH5 stuff.
99% of it these days is outsourced to China. They have the means, they have factories,
minds, that's right.
they have huge warehouses, giant like
I'd love the
$1 billion
click.
machines in a
Bro,
row.
it sounds awful.
And
It's a difference, man.
you know, like I guess I have to talk about this now. People approach modders, they're like, "Well, just make a new guitar." And it's like, God, I wish it was that simple.
Hold on. I remember what he's about to get into, so let me preface this. What JP's about to break down is exactly the method to which for more or less what it takes to make a new guitar from scratch. And I've seen a lot of people, and I'm pausing this. Let me go back just a bit. To anybody who says, "Oh, just make your own," or "Hey, just print it." Yeah, that's not how that works. And he'll break it down here in a second. So here, listen to this.
Anyway, you know, because like
You know,
for
kind of
those
video
who don't know
clip.
how
Nice.
manufacturing works, like it's
Oh, my guitar's
99%
complete
of
ass.
it
Oh,
these
my
days is
God.
outsourced to China.
The
They
Rock
have
Band
the
4 one's
means,
pretty solid.
They have factories,
And the
they
precision
have
bass is awesome.
huge warehouses, giant like
I wish I had the
$1 million
Jaguar.
machines in rows, like, and you know, like I guess I have to talk about this now. People approach modders, they're like, "Well, just make a new guitar."
Yeah,
and it's
that's-
like, God, I wish it was that simple.
Yeah, let me
I
just
really
go. Let me
do.
just go get my injection mold machine. And the dies cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
to
give me a
explain to
break.
people, like the way injection molding works is it's very literal. It's plastic injected into a mold, and
Goddamn war
making
beast in
a
my wall.
mold at all costs thousands
Right.
of dollars. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Katana Mods, one of my good friends, and they're like prolific monitor.
I will say the Rock Band guitar feels really good for casual play.
Way back when, got an estimate from a company of how much it would cost to make a replica mold of a stock Guitar Hero fret.
Fret.
Minimum of $1,000.
Fret. Fret.
Just a single fret.
Single
Minimum.
fret. Minimum $1,000 for a mold.
So
Wow.
yeah. So people don't realize, and they also don't realize that like these big companies already have a lot of capital funds and they negotiate. They can
Correct.
work out deals. When you're just an individual,
Yep.
they're gonna treat you like dirt. You know what I mean? Because you know you're not a negotiator. You don't have
Correct.
like well, how much is it if we order 500,000?
Mm-hmm.
You know, molds. Because you have to remember like you know, one mold is one mold, and if you want to speed up manufacturing, you need multiple molds, and that's more money. And
Correct.
I don't have a one-way ticket to China. I don't have connections in China. Like, would I love to? Yeah, but even the bodies alone, like, you know, these bodies are like very. I think I have it. Like these, this is a very complex shell. Like there's a lot going on in here. You know.
And before people start saying like, why don't you just 3D print it?
I mean,
There's a story with that
big one
too.
over there, and it would be big enough. But the problem with 3D printing is that it takes a really long time. Injection molding is done, done on an assembly line. It takes
Yep.
a second. You know, it's injected, it's cooled down, it goes on an assembly line. That's it, and then it's assembled.
Realistically,
You
yeah,
know?
like, and if you did a 3D print, and if you had like, you know, the exact dimensions, the exact type of like model that would print out like a Les Paul body, one side of it would take
One side, it would take most of the day. You know,
yeah,
like
and
most
that's
like
one guitar.
and
And
so
that's
why
one
don't
guitar.
so let-
Extrapolate that out. That means that guitar would be very expensive to buy.
Yes.
yes, it would be very expensive because of labor and cost.
Like
of
for a 3D
material
printed
and
guitar,
time.
people already think 175 to
hey,
200
$100
American is too
probably.
much money.
I'm gonna mention
Yeah.
a name that people might have
You
forgotten
want a 3D
about.
printed guitar from?
GamerX.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Gamer
oh,
X.
Yeah, GamerX.
No bells are ringing for me.
They tried and failed the 3D print bodies.
Yep.
I remember, and this was before I started 3D printing, so I didn't know anything about the technology. The main guy behind it, I believe his name was Buckeyes. He was a nice guy, you know, like he was genuinely trying his best. Like I think that, you know, it got crowdfunded to a certain point, and he realized in the end, like, this is going to be too expensive. I can't.
Yep.
So it's not no ill will. Like he tried. He really did.
You know, you
But
can only do so
he was
much.
doing a stream of like like a 3D printer.
Yeah.
Like 3D printing one of the bodies, like really like big industrial printer. It failed halfway through. It
Yep.
it came dislodged from.
Like,
printing.
think about that.
When you have a failure like that,
Yeah, listen to this.
not only do you have to restart, but you just lost out on all that material. Spools come in 1 kilogram.
Yep.
Right.
A lot of
So
wasted money.
It's a lot of wasted
waste
money.
Of money. A body's like probably well over 500 grams or close to a kilogram.
So sure,
And,
you
like,
can try to
there are
3D
people- listen,
print, but
there are
there's a
people
high
that actually
chance
make
you're
it,
gonna
like,
blow about
mean guitars and
200
stuff, which I
bucks or
think is
whatever.
awesome, first of all,
Yeah.
you know, I think that's
On
great.
material if it doesn't go all the way
this shit
through.
right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
polybars are a
that's
fucking
awesome.
godsend, man.
This
You
is
know?
cool.
Yeah.
Look how
Yeah.
small this is. I'm not a big guy.
Like,
Here,
that-
wait, here's an iPhone. Here's an
Yeah,
iPhone.
seriously, you know?
Like those are nice, man.
If
That's
it's
what I
across
got for
your
the
chest-
kiddo for
Yeah.
that.
for like if
is
he wanted
way
to try
louder
it.
than my
Yeah.
chest.
Yeah, it's way,
Very much
way
so.
bigger, you know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like-
and yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
look,
It's
brother.
so big.
See?
Yeah.
You know what I
Talk to
mean?
me or my son ever again.
There you go.
Put that together.
Yeah. So like
these
that's
small
that
projects
was
are
something I
really cool
remember
because they're
that I
at
wanted. Like I
scale,
was quiet so
they're
y'all could hear
possible,
it.
you know? Like, you
But
can do that on,
anybody
like,
who thinks like,
the
oh, just 3D
printers
print a
behind me that
guitar,
have, like an
or it's like,
average
oh,
print
why are they
volume
just
of,
so
like-
tiny?
Like
Yeah, that's why.
220 to 230 millimeters. That's like average, you know. But like,
It's super
like, I
important.
started 3D printing faceplates, right? And like
Yeah.
that already like
So sick.
Yeah. Fun
that
fact:
already
the
takes, like over 100 grams of material, so I can only do 9 per
Does he
spool
have it?
because it's over 100, and it takes
No, I
like
guess not.
3 hours. You know,
I
and,
saw
like,
I saw
and
one that
so
he
it's
3D
like,
printed at
you
the
know,
off season. It
people
looks so
don't,
fucking sick.
You know, and like
The end result is really
Yeah,
cool.
like look at
Yeah,
that.
it is very
It's
pretty.
amazing.
Look how fucking
Yeah,
sick
so
it is. I
surprised-
want that
I'm
so
surprised
bad.
you're selling him for the price that you are selling him for. That
Yeah,
seems cheap.
I need to
me.
look at
Not
his
to be
website
too hard,
and
but it's like with 26 bucks.
I
like that.
I
Look at his
appreciate that,
website
but like with
and,
new guitars,
see
like,
if
I think
that's
what they
on
would really
there.
need to do is
'Cause I would love
honestly,
that.
I have
That's the one that I
hopes
saw. I would
for,
love that for my
mechanical switches
Guitar
in the
Hero
frets, and
5
I'm gonna be
guitar.
honest, I'm okay with that because if there's new guitars, then there's new membrane pads, so
Yep.
it's okay. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Whereas here, we're limited. Like I will say that after much deliberation and being convinced by friends, I have a ton of silicone pads.
Yep.
I'm gonna start putting them up in packs, you know, because people have been asking.
Yeah, I need to find out where his
package from JP
his stuff is at.
It's just,
just
just chilling there.
You know,
That
Just all
but-
silicone.
I wouldn't mind
I'm okay with
buying
flex
a
and membrane
like a
pads
pack of
because it doesn't feel bad, you know, like, it's
Guitar
just-
Hero 5 silicone.
It's just it
for
sucks.
backup?
It sucks
Because
to break
I'm
in,
kind
and
of
that was,
over
like, one of
mech
the
frets at
worst
this point.
parts about, like, getting a new
The
controller
mold
is
cut that I have is perfect.
Like 80% of the time,
It
out
has
of the box,
perfect
it would feel
bounce.
like trash.
It pushes down easy enough.
This like sucks.
Yeah,
You know, that Les Paul that I was playing on the Aerosmith.
Yeah, I know.
Whenever I first started streaming, oh fuck that.
It's the
So-
ones that have like shorter travel distance and stuff
That
like
sync
that.
though? Oh,
Only
God.
And a handful of Xbox controllers. Yeah, go for it.
What I think
Yeah.
that they need to do is that
Mm.
they just need to kind of go back to basics. Like when I think of like
Key
one of the
phrase,
most reliable
back to
guitars,
basics.
unironically, I think of the SG.
The SG is
Right,
very
yeah.
reliable.
Because the SG does
Between
not
you and
have
Asai,
a lot
that's
going
bad.
on
Okay,
in
cool.
it. Whereas like you look at these Xbox 360 guitars and like it's a mess. There's a lot going on.
The
you know,
SGs are.
but-
I bought a PS2 adapter
it's like
to
weird
try to use an
because,
SG
and,
whenever
and,
you know
I
as a
talked to Alec
backup.
about this, like I will be the first to admit
But,
that
man,
like when I heard that like oh
that-
new
the
controllers,
SG
like,
is legit.
I got scared. You know,
I'd probably put the
because
SG
at the end
behind
of
the
day, I
Guitar
run a
Hero 5
business.
guitar.
I provide for the community as much as I can by trying to make good hardware, but I run a business, and
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I as a like lifelong Guitar Hero fan
Mm-hmm.
accept the fact that like we need new controllers. We need them. It's dire, you know. Like I don't even want to be charging what I am. First of all, like first and foremost, but it's a business,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and
gotta
you know.
eat.
Exactly, and like
Yeah,
you know,
you
if
bro.
because people don't realize that like I have to buy the fucking things. Like that's
That's
where all
right.
the money goes. I have to buy
Yeah.
them. I have to buy switches. I have to buy
Yeah.
circuit boards. I have to buy printer filament. I buy printers. You know, there's not as much money is being made as somebody might assume, right?
Yeah.
And so
Like, with how the community
it would
is-
be great if new guitars
and
came out because
for JP, I would
you know,
bet,
was
like,
talking
if-
to Katana about this.
If he could get the materials for super cheap,
you know,
motherfucker would be
where's
making
the
some of
future
these
headed, right?
guitars
like where
super affordable.
you know where like where
But
are we gonna
unfortunately,
be with
getting
the
that
game
kind
and
of stuff
everything,
is-
you know, and if new controllers
No,
came
that's
out, it would
possible,
be for
man.
great and good because
Yeah. But when it
you
comes
know,
to back to
asking a
basics,
casual
like
player to
I really
pay
think,
what I sell them for is a big ask, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
there's still very much people our age who prefer to go the route of you know
Keep
something that they
detachable
know they
necks,
can
that's what I was
trust
going
rather
with.
than spending
Um,
less money on something that may or may not suck.
yeah.
Or just something that they know.
But for the love of Christ,
unfortunately.
do
Like,
not use the
oh,
locking
yeah, this is
mechanism
the
that
one
you
that I had
did
when I was
in
a
the
kid.
Guitar Hero Live
Yeah.
guitar.
$300
Jesus Christ.
Broken in
What kills
2
me?
months.
What kills me the most is when I see people saying, "Yeah, I bought this this brand new guitar from 2007 on Amazon.com. I paid $350 for it. And
It doesn't work.
Dude,
Like,
I
ah!
even tell you
No!
how many people in
eBay,
Alex-
man.
eBay!
How many people
Like,
in
whenever-
Alex
whenever
chat
Moose
Discord
said that, I was
come
like,
in and
yeah.
They say it like, did I get a W? And Alex,
Yeah.
Alex paused the game. He's like, my man.
Nah.
I really hate to
Oh,
break
yeah,
the
I
news
got
to
a
you.
comment. I got a comment the other day that was like,
Yeah.
"Is $300 for an Explorer good?"
Oh,
I was just like, I just said no.
It's
No,
like my
I-
brother in
no,
Christ.
I
No.
just hate the fact that like people like think that that's okay. And it's not even their fault. First of all,
It's
Yeah.
not their fault.
like that would be like victim blaming. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
just
You know.
the demand is so high right now because Guitar
unreasonable.
Hero is in
You mind
such a
for
good
yeah, you
spot.
did.
Everybody, modern gaming, for the most part,
Goodwill, baby.
it's just like come and go. Modern gaming is like come and go.
When you
like,
when you have charity
Tears of
shops
the
and
Kingdom,
boot,
I waited
boot
5
sales
years for
or
that game to come out. I finished it. It's
or,
done. And I
flea
only played
markets
the same live service game.
and
now,
thrift shops
you know
to go
what?
to, man.
You know
when
what?
you
I'm
can
gonna go play
find one,
Counter-Strike.
it's
I'm gonna
fucking
go play
aces.
Counter-Strike too.
I haven't
I'm gonna
been
go
to
play-
you are.
I haven't been
I'm gonna
thrift
go-
hunting in
I'm
a
gonna go
while.
play fucking Call
Makes
of
me wonder if I
Duty
can
or
find
whatever.
some
And then
some
it's
guitars up
just-
here in North Texas.
think
I think I
Guitar-
found two.
Guitar Hero
Like
fits the
game-
mold of that right now.
Yeah, like gaming.
The Guitar Hero
we just
5
need,
guitar
like,
that I need to put together.
nostalgia. The nostalgia
And then a
beat is
Kramer.
the strongest.
Those are the only
in
two that
the
I found.
gaming sphere right
$5
now.
a piece, though.
And it's like
actually,
our-
$250 for
doing it
sports,
right now
mint.
with Modern Warfare
Nice.
3.
Yeah,
Like,
Facebook
they have-
Marketplace
they
as
have
well.
a blueprint and they're following it.
I
and
need
think
to- I
they
need to do a
could easily
deep dive
copy
on
paste that
there.
blueprint into
Try to
Guitar
find
Hero
stuff.
and sell tons of copies to us.
I think you
Yes.
just nailed it. I think you just nailed it right there because nostalgia is the way that's winning.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping it simple. All the things that we just said, roll all of that together, and you've got a perfect recipe for the Game Pass idea for a
Yeah.
platform for Guitar Hero.
And just
Yeah.
and just put out a guitar. Let's not worry about full band right now. You know, like just Put out a
JP,
guitar.
hold
maybe
on.
vocal-
What the fuck did he just say? Say it again. Say it loud. Let me hear
The
you.
things that we just said, roll all of that
JP,
together.
say it again.
And you've got a perfect
Say it
recipe
fucking again.
for the Game Pass idea for a
Yeah.
platform for
No, no.
Guitar Hero.
Say it again.
And just put out a guitar.
Uh-huh.
Let's not worry about full band right now.
Full
you know,
band.
like,
That's what he's talking.
put
No
out a guitar.
drums. Just
Maybe
guitar.
vocals, okay,
Maybe
yeah,
vocals.
maybe
Exactly.
vocals.
Make
That'd
it
be
work with
great.
headset
But
mics,
I,
right?
I don't know. I don't know if that's like a thing that they would even focus on. Like the best way to play drums. Anyone who's grown up with the games probably has an E-kit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who's grown up with the games and stayed with the games
Yeah, takes it seriously
probably
now.
most likely has an E-kit,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even plays it. Maybe is even in a band.
Jason, you have a Nitro Mesh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes
you
to
do.
just put out a guitar.
So this is
Don't
one of
worry
those
about
things that
drums.
I think if they keep it simple,
Find
the
a way to
problem with Guitar
just-
Hero
yeah.
7 when it was being made
Mhm.
was that they tried to overcomplicate the new guitars and it
Correct.
became too expensive for them to produce.
Yeah, with the
When
fucking
they were gonna make
streams.
6-fret guitars right after Warriors of Rock, that
Mhm.
beta that they ended up coming out with.
6-fret inline, we should say too. If you haven't seen, if
Correct.
you haven't seen the
Yeah.
leaked,
Yeah.
the prototype guitars, it was
I am
green,
highly
red,
on the
blue,
side
orange,
of
purple.
6 fret.
It was a 6 purple
Should
button.
be-
And it was inline and not 2 rows of 3 like they did
yeah,
with Guitar Hero
not
Live.
2 rows
so
of
they did
3,
keep the 6-fret
but
idea alive.
1 row of
just in a different
6
format than what they were
for
initially thinking
a
of
new
doing.
Guitar Hero.
Because
Exactly.
freestyle
Legendary
freestyle games, the
difficulty,
people who
Daddy.
made Guitar Hero Live, they had their own vision,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like accessibility. They made a big deal out of the
Yep.
fact that you didn't have to use
Yeah,
your pinky.
or pinky. You guys
Correct.
used your pinky before, right? You
Yeah,
guys put it
like,
easy.
literally.
Oh, I gotta go to Medium. I gotta press blue with my pinky. That's too hard. You don't have to do it
Yeah.
anymore.
They
Like,
loved
Sister
the
Skip.
idea
Yeah.
of making it look like it was easier than it was, because I
Yes.
remember
Mhm.
everyone saying with Guitar Hero Live,
The 6
"Oh,
fret.
it's only 3 buttons. I'm not gonna play that. It's too easy." But
Yeah,
then it was
fuck you.
deceptively hard. 'cause
Dude,
all
It's
the-
Guitar Hero
deceptively
Live
hard.
is fucking difficult.
It is
Yeah.
so, it's
It's
so hard.
hard.
It's like, oh, you think you're good?
Fun.
Try
It's
doing it
fun,
without
but I never
sliding,
made that
bitch.
game.
Ow!
And Jason did main it, so he knows.
Guitar Hero
You know?
made a motherfucker
He
have to learn
mained
how to
it, and I
anchor.
remember those
Yeah.
days.
I don't think
I think
anyone's
Jason was
ever
the
tried
only-
claiming my speedrun world record. Which
Yeah, I
is
think
crazy.
No,
Jason
they
was like the
haven't.
only
And I
creator
Yeah,
Because-
that would
Really,
like, honestly make someone
that actually
have to
put
play
time into
Hero
Guitar
Live,
Hero
and
Live.
That chart
Like,
sucks.
And God bless him
you
for
did
it,
that
man.
from,
Remind me,
like,
dude.
You did that
Supporting
when we were still
FSG.
playing Guitar Hero 3 PC, right?
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, like Clone
Yeah.
Hero was not even a thing yet.
That's
at that
right.
point.
Yeah, I remember it took you some convincing to move over to GH3
Hey, what's up,
PC
Teef?
because like you did phase shift for a second too.
That's how I started
Face shift.
streaming.
How you doing it,
because
Teef?
You did,
How's your
you
Blink
came back
180
to
Tuesday
streaming,
going?
And you're like,
Yeah.
I was like, Jason, you're streaming again. Why are you playing phase
Face shift. Why are you playing face shift?
I had never used.
No, and I get it now.
Comes back
I
to streaming,
totally-
plays
it
Frets
was a
on Fire.
minute, but,
What?
we got like hit people. Guitar Hero 3 started growing because George was going crazy, and he was streaming. He was
Dude,
streaming Guitar Hero 3.
I watched George religiously.
Yeah,
Like,
every-
You know, I will say
and
after playing
everybody under the
console
sun
again,
was going to
I've never messed with
Plato's,
GH3 PC.
tutorial
Yeah.
to get
Yes.
it all set up.
and
I
no one had
kinda-
as well when he made the all-in-one installer.
Yeah, he made
too.
the installer.
I
Dude,
kind of want to
yeah.
look into it.
Setting that all,
George,
setting all that up from
UK,
scratch, I did that like 2 weeks ago.
UCOG
many
monkey.
times.
And
No way.
I, and I've done it so many times that it just works.
Mm-hmm.
on
Just seared
Windows
into your
11.
brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you install the game, you install the patch.
Yeah, I could probably do
Yes.
it if I really wanted to. Like,
Control panel.
One of the
and then you
old
install
heads.
GH3 Plus
plus.
and the GH3 Plus what is it, update for GHTCP.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't even know what that is.
What a fucking
Oh,
mess,
So
man.
GH
Like,
Fritzing,
we
yeah.
worked on that.
I just saw
We worked
something on
that.
Twitter where he
3D
posted a
analyzed,
picture of him playing
3D
Guitar
analyzed.
Hero
We 3D
Arcade.
analyzed
He's like,
to run it in
ah,
window mode
this
and no
again.
VSync.
Yes, exactly
Something
why
like that.
Clone Hero
It's
took
funny.
off right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember the
Ease of
first day that
access.
you streamed it. I remember
That was
that day.
wild.
Video.
That
Mm-hmm.
was wild.
Yeah.
Sandstorm video. I think that's the first
Dude.
major piece of Clone Hero content on YouTube.
Yeah,
Sandstorm.
like
Yeah.
when you, I remember the day that you like because like
Like, it's so
initial
funny to
reception
think
of Clone
about,
Hero was
like, when
kinda rough.
people don't
were
really
just like,
understand.
this looks like shit.
Like-
Like that's really what people thought initially.
Like
I
that
thought of it
Sandstorm
as
video and
spaceship,
all
but
the
it
other,
doesn't look
kind
like
of
yeah,
meme
Yeah.
kind of stuff
what I
and
thought.
seriously.
all that.
All shit
With
then
without
shit
those
developers,
videos,
I'm
Clone
sorry,
Hero
y'all did not want to accept
probably
no, it's not
wouldn't be
chart
anywhere near
format,
where
and
it is right
that's
now.
what went to
Which is
downfall.
insane to think
Yep,
about,
That's what
right?
happened.
Like
I agree.
I'm not
I'm
the biggest
sorry.
fan of the meme stuff,
I hope
right?
y'all are doing better
has
in
its
a different
place.
but
Hey, I bought
But,
your game. That's all I'm gonna say.
I bought your game.
it.
I
But,
did, and I gave it a fair shot.
I'm still waiting on that.
I'm glad
refund
that they
from the Steam
happened, man.
purchase, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
It keeps people coming in.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
yeah. But yeah, no,
I
mean,
even
like,
think that stuff would
there's
have
probably
a
another
place
time
in
and place where we could just talk
a
about
modern Guitar Hero,
the
but
old, with
Yeah,
the
kind of
that'll be
stuff.
in a future
and then-
episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would be because like the
what'd they
times
say?
are really rough.
hold on. What did you say?
But
Hey, I
I
bought
missed something.
your game. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, they're talking about
Yeah,
phase shift.
I
That's what it
did,
was.
and I gave it
It's
a
like,
fair
it's
shot.
like,
I'm still waiting on
I
that
tried
refund
it.
from the Steam purchase, man.
Yeah.
Oh no.
yo, who's still got a working
I-
Steam
oh,
key for phase shift?
yeah,
I
no,
want
I
it.
mean, like, there's probably another time and place where we could just talk
To the
about
Super last year?
the
Yeah.
old,
Same for me. I was
That'll be in a
tw-
future
uh,
episode.
Yeah, I think that
2021?
because like the times were really rough at one point, and it was like fighting for survival. It was like animalistic. It was insane at some point.
like sitting
me
here
and
and
JP
like,
were there. We were there.
yeah,
I like
it
that,
was
but
it was
that's
rough.
the important thing about like this podcast and stuff too,
Yeah.
which it just brings me to why we're doing this all together is because we were there. We were there when a lot of these big things happened, and I think this is going to be a really cool.
I mean,
outlet for
did
people.
everybody in this
Yeah.
call pre-order GH5 to get Van Halen for free?
Yeah,
Yep.
brother, I got it right
Yeah.
there, man. I still
Yep.
have it.
Exactly. So
I got it. I have my original
so I
copy
think
of
that
Warriors
I
of
think that
Rock
says all you
where
need
the
to know,
disc cracked
honestly, like,
Yeah.
because
you
I
know,
played
like,
it so much.
That
many
and
people
the
did that.
Soundgarden
With the
album,
with the
too,
Soundgarden CD
as a
There's the
bonus.
raw
Yeah.
ones in there.
still in there too.
Yeah, I
That's
still
good
got
shit.
that in
I
like
wish
some
I still
paper
had,
CD
like,
case, because it came in
What
a paper.
what
case,
Moose
I
or
think.
Guitar Hero Rocks? What Moose has behind him on the wall? I had
I
all
mean,
of
I
that,
pre-ordered every game.
and
you
it
know,
got
like,
lost over time.
I stuck by.
Ugh.
I was still buying DLC, like and we all were,
Mm-hmm.
I
like,
have a
and
confession.
that.
I have
Oh,
a
yeah?
confession about
He's
when I
got a
bought one of these games.
confession to
This is one
make.
thing that I probably shouldn't say out loud, but I'm going to. I
Say it.
remember going to Best Buy with a
Yes.
bag full of quarters to buy Guitar Hero Metallica. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's fine, it's all right. I'll just help them count it. But then I get there and I felt guilty about this since this moment.
Listen
because
to
I get
this.
up to the counter and I'm like, all right, it's me and this person. We're gonna count it.
$65
The
worth of
person who was
quarters.
counting at the counter, I swear to God, had one hand,
One hand.
and I've
Oh
had
God.
that in my brain since because I'm like, oh my God.
Look at fucking Moose's
can't
face up
really
here. Just
I just walked up to buy a Guitar Hero from somebody with one hand with a bag of quarters, and I feel like a terrible person.
I'll say this: as
That
somebody
only
who worked
happened with
retail for a
Guitar
third of their
Hero,
life, and from
My
a grunt
buddy-
position all the way
my
up
buddy
to
bought my
a
iPod
manager,
Touch with dollar bills.
there was a lot of times kids would come in with coins. I absolutely fucking
Back when it was
loved
like
counting those coins with them
$200 or
because they were
something.
always so
Metallica was, like,
excited,
60.
and their parent was always like,
That's
"I'm
a
so
lot of
sorry."
fucking quarters, you know
And then
what?
the
I
kid
don't
would
know.
kind
That is
of like, "Oh no, is this bad?"
Choose your fighter.
And then just
Or
get
we
into
saved
it.
that up from like tips at
They have
work
so
or
much fun
something.
counting
Jeez,
it.
Like, I
And they'd be
used to do
so
that.
excited
I
when they
used to
get the
have, like,
game.
a coin
So
jar,
anybody,
and I'd go to, like,
if
the
you're in a
coin
position where
store
you
and
have to
stuff.
pay with coins, or if
That
you
was-
got
that
a
was
kiddo,
rough. Those were rough times.
We've evolved past that. We're better men.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm not
a
going
lot
to
of
the
retail
coin
people
store.
are not
You know
me.
what?
They don't have my level of optimism.
I found out that my Guitar Hero Van Halen copy came in when my mom was really mad at me for flunking.
It's so
middle
cool,
school.
man. Flunking
And I
middle
was
school.
like, I really
Yeah.
want to play Van Halen, but I can't.
Dude.
So I was like, oh god, it was a really bad time, but it's okay. We're better men.
Better
I
man.
remember being so pissed off because I
We're
was
just
on
normal
PS3
men.
at the time, and for whatever reason
We're
they
just innocent,
they
man.
released the 360 version first to all the pre-orders, and then the PS3
Yeah.
had to wait like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I was on YouTube watching George FC
Yeah.
Eruption like
I always
2
found
or
that
3
weird.
months before the game officially
I
released.
also
I was
for
like, I love the
um,
game. I pre-ordered.
I
why
won
don't
a
have it yet?
giveaway
And it was like 3
for
weeks later, I got
before
it.
Guitar Hero 5 came out, and I won
the
a
funny
pair
part
of
about
Eddie
that
Van
game is that they
Halen,
had a demo for Xbox Live.
They did.
the Xbox
Chucks.
version, and that had Eruption in
like
it.
Van Halen
Yes, it
branded
did. It did.
Why?
It was like Eruption
or
and
Converse, but they weren't
Eruption
Converse.
and a third one that I can't
So
think of.
I have those in my closet somewhere. I gotta find those.
One of the interesting things we learned about Van Halen is that well, I guess it's not interesting. Me and Moose,
It's boring.
we asked about the Painkiller intro,
Oh,
and they didn't have an answer. They were like, honestly, to this day, we have no idea why they cut it. Zero idea. They just did it, and it was like an
Yeah.
executive decision. pretty
oh, it
much.
wasn't a
Either, like,
licensing
either
thing.
it wasn't an executive decision, or they just got sent that and they worked with it. Don't really know.
Huh.
So weird.
I thought
Like,
the
I
story
can
was always
understand
that like it was
I
a
know
licensing thing.
for Judas Priest, when it comes to like Electric Eye, the reason why sometimes you'll see that in games without the
Electric
intro, without
Yeah.
the Hellion, is because they do actually license that as 2 separate songs.
It is
Yeah.
a separate song when you look at the album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
guess
you
that
have to
makes
pay
sense.
the rights for 2 songs to have the intro.
But the intro to
So
Painkiller
that-
is
in that
just
case
in
makes
Painkiller.
sense.
Yeah.
But-
Painkiller. That's
Yeah,
a
but like that doesn't make
Painkiller.
sense.
Painkiller,
dude,
that's
huh.
different, man.
Painkiller's chart
heard
was
so many-
They got sent the
bad.
fucking
I've heard
radio
so many
edit.
different stories
Get
about the
fucked.
Painkiller intro like existing and how Rock Band got it, but Guitar Hero didn't. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know
They
anymore.
they don't. I mean,
Truly,
you'd have
after
to.
that, I truly don't know anymore.
I mean, look. Maybe one day we can reach out to people who worked in like the
Mm-hmm.
note tracking department for that game
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
the audio mixing because like I feel like somebody has
Just
to.
gotta
know.
still
Like,
include
we gotta
the Hellion, the
like, we
GH
gotta-
games,
I
yeah.
think that we'll be able to unlock
This is-
some
what's the
secrets,
title?
you
Yeah.
know, through
That'd
this
be
for
fun.
sure.
Yeah, so
That'd be
after we're
great.
done with this here podcast, I'm gonna go put every game into my Xbox 360. Go to the credits. I'm gonna note down everybody's name. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go find them on LinkedIn.
See,
and I'm gonna harass them, and
yeah,
I'll say, hey, we have a podcast,
motherfucker.
and
I
we're
was
talking
just
about
thinking
things.
that,
Bro,
like
hey,
when they
you
were
have a
talking,
digital
I didn't say it out
footprint. We go
loud,
live
but I
with
was just
this and
like,
you're saying
you
that
know,
shit?
going like IMDb or
No
wherever you can
worries.
find like the
Okay.
credits, and then just start
All right.
reaching out to
I think
people's
that's
like,
a
all
good
right,
place to end
hey, what's
it.
the top?
I think that's a good place to
Yeah.
end
Yeah?
this
Yeah.
discussion.
We
'cause
should
I
say
think
too that we do plan on having guests. on
Good.
this
Yeah, we
show.
do.
As you should.
Yes, and I think we have some people that are gonna.
I would
that are
love to
already,
be a
like,
guest.
interested in talking to us.
Motherfucker,
but-
you know, I would
We
kill to
also-
talk to a
we
bunch
also
of old
plan on
heads
making
about
a name too. We're just
all that and like, oh,
I,
We'll get there.
going
This
through
is
with the
our
DLC
test
every
run.
week.
We'll probably figure
All that
out
kind
a
of
name
stuff.
tonight or tomorrow
The
night.
process
It's gonna
of
happen.
making the
Might even
DLC
be a name on this
videos,
as you're
which didn't
watching.
exist at that point, by the way.
We don't know yet. We're gonna
Maybe.
figure it out.
Harmonix
really
was not
fun.
It'll
putting
just
out
kinda come
DLC
together naturally.
previews.
We're going with the
Just
flow.
like this
And
discussion-
Activision was not
just
putting
like
out
this whole
DLC
discussion, this whole
previews back
episode,
in
I think we got a
2009,
lot of
2010.
Good thoughts down.
Yeah, it's
And,
unfortunate
had
because
a good discussion.
I couldn't even get through my entire list that I had here.
Yep.
Let me open up my notebook.
Oh, that's fucking sick.
I had.
Moose, give me that.
It's my
This
notebook.
is
What are you talking
Middle
I
Earth
fucking.
Is that like full of like ShamWows or something? Like
about? No, it's
Oh, I love it. I want
paper. I
it.
mean, I had written down.
From the church.
No, I mean it's just my
Damn
notebook.
it,
I wrote
church!
down topics. I have women be shopping, crypto, and new Guitar Hero games. So we really
new
covered
Guitar
one of the
Hero games. We
topics,
covered
but I
one.
think that's
You
a
know
good
what,
spot to.
That's
end
funny.
it.
oh,
Next
dude,
time on the
Hero
podcast-
Coin, Hero Coin.
Next time on the podcast, we'll talk about that first topic.
All right.
How about that? All
Yeah,
right.
that sounds
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Bet.
we'll start off with
Yeah.
that.
Sounds
I think
great.
that sounds
Good
Is that
shit.
crypto?
That was women be shopping. We can
That
do
was
crypto.
women be shopping.
We'll be shopping for Guitar Hero.
Oh,
Coming 2024,
maybe.
25,
Yeah.
26, hopefully maybe.
No, no. What did you
Alright.
say? I like 0.000000075 seconds.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then
It's already up.
yeah. Oh, looks
Oh,
like
that's
the
good
new
shit,
Guitar
man.
Game's out now. Oh shit.
Oh, fuck.
I gotta go buy it.
Yeah.
I gotta go buy it. All right, man. That was the Lore Hero podcast. What do we think about Lore Hero? In terms of what they talked about, the structure, all that kind of scenes. I mean, they tried. I think they succeeded, man. In terms of a podcast, I do believe it needs a little bit more structure. But in terms of the topics, it was all it flowed very well. But I think, you know, with the first episode, I have definitely heard worse. There was the thing that is important with stuff like this is that there's a flow, right? And they definitely have a flow. And another thing is I would say maybe work a little bit on people talking over each other, but even then there wasn't a lot compared to like some podcasts that I've listened to. So that's a good sign. There's a really good chemistry with these four. I would say I would like to hear more from Jason. I really would. I believe he has a very unique perspective on things like this because of his experience working in the games industry, specifically on the community side of rhythm games with Rocksmith. I would like to hear more from him, but also, you know, it's a feel out period. Like Isaac said, give it five episodes. I'd give it more than that. I think as long as they're consistent and they can build a structure. I think YouTube's working now. Hold on. There we go. So here, let me full screen that. Let me zoom it in. There you go. So we can have it there. I would say definitely give it a sub on there. I think they were still working on getting it on other services, but I'd get 5 episodes. I think you say that, like, I'd say give it 5 episodes and they'll find their footing, because I will tell you this, if it only goes 5 episodes, I'll make sure it keeps going. because motherfucker, y'all don't understand. Like for the longest time, like because I stopped playing these things whenever I started pro wrestling, right? Once I started pro wrestling, that was the focus. And within pro wrestling, there's a lot of people my age where I was like, we talked about games and stuff, but anytime I brought up Guitar Hero, they're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, it was fun, but like there's like, we can talk about wrestling games all day long. We can talk about like the new big AAA thing all day long. But like I had no one to talk about Guitar Hero with for like 5, 6, 7 years. It is ridiculous. So seeing something like this for me personally, I am very, very with it, especially as somebody who listened to the Star Power podcast a lot growing up and was on the Star Power podcast. I want to go and try to find that because fuck, I think I was 19 at the time, and that would be interesting to go back and listen to. But here, let me see what you are saying. Kiva, I liked it. Good. There we go. UCOG, or not you, fucking UCOG. UKG Sastros. There it is. 93. It's what the Guitar Hero community needed. Yes, they need structure. However, I will be watching, listening to episode 2 and everyone going forward. Nice. Kiva, I assume they did this over a Discord call, to which I'm not sure how much control they have over talking one over. Yeah, it was, from what I could tell, is Discord. It looked like JP was producing it. Like, because there was one point where Asai was, or Alec was out of sync a little bit, and it looks like he clicked something. So let's go on that end. Yeah, I'll take this. Yeah, it's basically Asai and Friends. Yeah, I mean, and what is Asai and Friends? Asai's a day oneer. That's what it needs, and that's what's great. Like, Asai's a day oneer. Jason is Guitar Hero 2. JP, it seems like he was a Guitar Hero 3 on the Wii. I don't know when. I think he might be newer-ish. Oh no, because no. He's that would be, when did Guitar Hero 7 launch on Wii? It was the later, right? It was still 2007, so he was around like 2008-ish. Right? So he's an old head, and then Wise Moose, I'm assuming he's an old head too, right? Like, I don't know exactly when, but the good thing is that it's a bunch of old players that are contemporary at the same time. I don't know if that's the right word, but they're active now. They have been through everything. They have what's the word I'm looking for here? They have context to everything. They were there in the moments from different perspectives, right? Like it's really good, and there's potential. Hex liked hearing about what goes into making customs. Any more of that? I think there would be a really good episode to do with that for custom controllers. Yes, like oh my god, that alone, right? In terms of like custom controllers, because I've seen a lot of, not like consistent like everyday kind of stuff, but you know, whenever I go on Reddit and kind of just like scroll through the Clone Hero thing, and people like post pictures of their 3D printed polybars, it's like, man, I wish you can 3D print a big one, or why isn't it big? It's like, why is it so small? And then he's able to come in and be like, a single mold for one fret costs around $1,000. Like, it's bananas, right? But yeah, I would love a single episode for like JP, Katana mods. I think there's a couple more cats. There's a person I met at the off season. They competed. His name was Tyrus, I believe. And he if I remember right, professionally makes custom controllers for like Smash, for like regular controllers, GameCube controllers, but he also does Guitar Hero controllers. And he brought his custom modified Logitech guitar. I think it was Logitech guitar, like, and the strum bar felt good and the frets felt good. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, this is so goddamn cool. And then his modified Explorer was fucking aces too. I would love to get like have an episode where they just talk about modding controllers and their processes and stuff. I think it'd be really good. I'll take this company. Issues Star Power podcast work because Guitar Hero was going on an ongoing series at the time. The podcast, as the name suggests, is basically reminiscing. It'll only go as far without new content, which won't happen. But that's the thing. The word hero is not just, it doesn't just mean Guitar Hero anymore, right? It means clone hero. The term hero nowadays, at least when it comes to these games, covers everything, right? I mean, I guess in normal land, right? Whenever people talk about music games, in my experience, they always bring up Guitar Hero, not Rock Band. Like for every one person that brings up Rock Band, there's about 3 people that bring up Guitar Hero. Whenever I start talking about it, right? So it's like the hero feed, right? The website that was active that reported on Guitar Hero news that was run by Toy Machine and I think Brian Shea helped with that too, and there was a third person, I can't remember who it was, but like at the time, I mean, it was just hero, right? Hero is the key word. So there's a lot in terms of potential here. Here, let me keep going. Kiva Moose has an actual picture of several him holding a GH1 SG, so he's been heard over. Okay, so I thought Moose was like a day oneer, but I couldn't tell because he looks so young. You see how fucking young that motherfucker looks? Moose, give me some of that tonic, man. Whatever you get, pass it along, man. There's opportunity here to be able to mix the worlds, like the charting stuff, right? Get somebody in there, get people from all corners of the internet or from the world, whatever you're gonna do. Try to have somebody host and produce, right? They try to find somebody who charted on the official games, and then get some custom charters, and then go back and forth. Have a list of questions, talking points, and all that kind of stuff. And you can bring it around, right? But yeah, there's plenty to talk about for a weekly podcast. I mean, shit. I would say, does it need to go an hour 40? I wouldn't say so. There definitely, I would say there were a couple times where I would say a lull or two, where it kind of got not off topic, but it kind of floated a little bit. But there were a couple of points where I was sitting there, I was like, yeah, it's interesting, but I didn't really have anything to say about it. I was like, huh, okay, yeah. You know, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. You know, so it was interesting to listen, but yeah, no, I mean, for a first episode, and it seems like they were winging it for the most part. Like, it definitely feels like they had, all right, here's what we're doing. Let's just sit down. Let's talk about, you know, this, and that. And we'll just move on and, you know, go into the next one and let it flow organically. Because, again, the flow, that's the important thing, is being able to sit there and talk with people and just have it bounce off each other. And it naturally progresses. But I am interested to see where episode 2 drops, and exactly what they decide to talk about, because I want to see how they follow up, right? And I want to see exactly how they can continue it, you know, because obviously if you just sit here and you talk about the same thing every week, it's not going to work. And they obviously know that, and they obviously have a plan in place to make sure that there's, you know, specific things that they want to talk about, right? Having the structure, that's the biggest thing, is being able to have structure and then kind of have an idea of how long you want to go. It seems like, based on this, an hour 30 might be like good for the high end. And then I aim between an hour and a half. And then don't go in there with, like, you know, talk about 15 minutes for this, talk about 5 minutes for that. Just kind of like think it, like, go in, have an idea of like, what do we want to talk about, this, and hit these bullet points, and then just go. Because following a script isn't going to work. And in pro wrestling, the one thing that I learned is that you want to follow, you know, they give you a script, don't read the script verbatim. Turn it into bullet points, hit your points, and then let things flow. Yeah, no, this is good. This is very good. Great first episode, I think. And I know for me personally, I definitely want to be involved in this somehow, some way. Don't know how, don't know where it would work. But this is good. And like they have what, after 5 days, 1.6k subscribers for a niche thing. I would say that's pretty good. Yeah, I'd watch an episode with you on it. Hey, I would too. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Like for me, like just off the top of my head, I would love to just have an episode talking with people about their experiences from Guitar Hero 1, 2. Like for me, in terms of my experience, it was all like through middle school and high school. Actually, it was exclusively high school, like going through high school with these games, midnight launches at GameStop, with like little tournaments and stuff and things of that nature. And then being involved with DLC as it came about and experiencing what that was like, firsthand from not just Guitar Hero, but Rock Band, and the experiencing how content was delivered in real time. I mean, obviously it's what led to, you know, DLC on a giant forefront, but like getting new songs weekly, like holy shit, like I feel like people don't appreciate how good they have it now. Like with Clone Hero, you probably have what, an average of 50 new songs a week. I mean, I digress, but like if you go on course, how many new songs are being added every week? Like 7-day period from Sunday to Saturday. Like I'd love to see that math, but it's definitely more than what it was back then. And I think it'd be really interesting to sit there and like, so like how did I know how I took in that content, but how other people took it in? What did they do? How many, you know, what was their game plan to disparage like getting this, that, and the other thing? Did they only wait for super high tier stuff? Did they get everything as it came out? And then transitioning from base game to world tour and having full band. And for me personally, the fight between 5-lane drums and Rock Band drums and Rock Band guitar and Guitar Hero guitar and all that kind of stuff. It was, I just want to sit there and talk about it. I mean, as y'all saw last Friday, 4 hours. Last Saturday, 5 hours. I could sit here and talk to y'all. I would talk your fucking head off. And like even now, like what, hour and 40? That's how long it was. It was about 2:43, more or less. So yeah, like there's a lot of great stuff here. I would say they need more structure in terms of talking points, and then obviously just keep working hard and focus on reaching out to get people on. I would say they need to do a better job at promoting it, like because what is it, Jason and Asai, like Asai has God knows how many followers, Jason has God knows how many followers.
So we're gathered here today to start.
So let me do this
podcast.
Nope. Here, like from here, I want to see that. I want to see that. Like just based from here, Asai has 1.37 million. Jason has 620,000. Every time there is a new video, they should be putting out a 10-second short or something that could reach their audience, saying, "Hey, new episode of Lore Hero podcast," and then have an embed of the newest video to get people over there, as well as putting the end tab with the subscribe button for Lore Hero. They should put both of those in there so they can build up the audience. And again, it's new. It's it'll be a one step at a time kind of thing, but I don't know. That's where I'm at. Me too. Yes. But yeah, good first start. And I'm excited to see where it goes from there.